Chapter 3066. But after saying this, she blushed. Why did she stop him? What was she afraid of? Was she afraid that the new girl Lin E was protecting would fall in love with Lin E? HM? No. How could it be? She didn't fall in love with Lin E. What I mean is, you have to protect me and Shu. How can you protect other people? Meng Yao saw that Lin E and Shu were looking at her strangely, so she blushed and tried to explain. But Shield Bro's mission's already over. Are you afraid that someone else is going to steal your misposition in Shield Bro's heart? Yao Yao? Yushu, on the other hand, knew Meng Yao very well. How is that possible? And it's just that the final exams are coming. Shield Bro shouldn't go far, right? And it's New Year in a month. Meng Yao was still explaining incoherently. It's okay. I'll let them move to the villa. I won't go far. Linny said. Plus, my follower Feng Shirshan asked me to help with this mission. I can't refuse. I see. All right then. Meng Yao thought that it'd be fine if he moved into the villa, since he'd be under her and Shu's watchful eyes. He shouldn't be able to do anything with that superstar, right? One had to know that she didn't even need to do anything. Shu could turn the world upside down. Back then, Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao were speechless because of Shu, weren't they? Then I'll go prepare 2 rooms on the first floor. Then I'll pick them up. Linny nodded and went to prepare the rooms. Grandma's son had already left. Housework. In other words, everyone did it together. After Linny left, Yushu said, Yao Yao sis, don't worry. Isn't she just a small star? She can't threaten Yao Yao sis' position. If she has any perverted thoughts toward Shield Bro, Shu will let her know who's the big wife in this villa. Besides, Shield Bro has seen Shirhan sis before. How could an ordinary little celebrity catch his eye? Why would I worry about that? I'm just worried that the celebrity won't be easy to get along with. Meng Yao naturally wouldn't admit it, but thinking about it, Lin Yi had seen Su Shirhan before. If he wanted to hit on someone, it would be Su Shirhan. Why would he be interested in a small celebrity? Thinking of this, he felt much more at ease. It doesn't matter. She lives in our territory, so she has to follow our rules. She must be begging Shield Bro to be her bodyguard. If she's not willing, she can just leave. Yushu said. After Lin Yi tidied up the room, it was almost time. He drove to Donghai Airport. Feng Sanhuang bought a plane ticket at noon, so he could arrive in the afternoon. Since there was danger, they had to meet up with Lin Yi as soon as possible to ensure Su Shirhan's safety. Donghai Airport's VIP lounge, although this lounge was exclusively for VIPs. The people who came here to pick up the people who came down from the VIP passage, but there were quite a lot of people here. The seats were almost full. Linny looked around and found a good seat near the window. It was a big sofa and no one was sitting there. He walked over and sat down, picking up a magazine and reading it. Lin Yi didn't bother with pleasantries as he walked over and sat down. The plane would arrive in half an hour, so Lin Yi arrived a little earlier. However, Lin Yi hadn't been reading the magazine for long when an extremely arrogant voice came from behind him, giving him a big fright. Motherf asterisk Kerr, who let you sit here? Don't you know this is young Master June's exclusive seat? The voice came from behind Lin Yi. It wasn't that Lin Yi didn't notice the person behind him, but there were quite a lot of people coming to pick up the plane. As long as they didn't come to attack Lin Yi wouldn't care what they were doing. Lin Yi frowned. Was there a special seat for this type of seat? But when he looked down, there didn't seem to be anything special about his spot other than the better lighting and the fact that it was a comfortable sofa. What are you looking at? Aren't you going to give up your seat to young Master June? The voice saw Lin Yi lowering his head, but he was a little impatient. If this seat was really dedicated, Lin Yi would give it to him. After all, although Lin Yi was strong, he wasn't willing to bully these ordinary people because of some small things. Lin Yi's eyes were now filled with cultivators. However, this seat wasn't dedicated at all. It wasn't marked at all. Lin Yi was a little unhappy. He stood up, turned his head, and looked at the person who scolded him. This was a man in black. However, what surprised Lin was that although Lin couldn't see through this person's strength, he should be a master without a doubt. This seat, where is it written that it's yours? Lin asked faintly. Although the person was a master, it was only relative to ordinary people. Lin didn't put him in his eyes. The man in black didn't answer Lin Yi's question. It seemed that he didn't put Lin in his eyes at all. He reached out his hand and pushed towards Lin wanting to push Lin to the side. He didn't even want to explain. However, what surprised him was that Lin didn't move an inch under his push. The master jumped in fright. He knew how strong he was. He pushed Lin but it didn't budge at all. He immediately increased the strength of his hand, using all of his mystic late phase peak physical strength. However, he thought that this time he would definitely push Lin away. What surprised him was that Lin didn't move an inch. He was still standing in the same spot. Slap. Lin slapped the mystic class master, sending him flying out of the room. Boom. With a loud sound, the master fell to the ground. The corner of his mouth was full of blood, and his teeth fell out. However, he didn't know the pain because he had already fainted. Move. After the master was slapped away by Lin there was a sudden noise at the door of the resting room. A pale-faced young man, under the escort of a few men in black, walked into the resting room. But when they saw the Mystic Division master lying motionless on the ground with blood all over his mouth, they were completely stunned. A black-robed man ran over quickly. "Junior brother, what happened to you? Who hurt you?" Lin frowned. Since when did Donghai City have so many masters? Chapter 3067. The one just now was a physical master, and the one in front of him was most likely one too. When a physical master didn't show his strength, Lin Yi's golden finger was useless. However, what shocked Lin the most was that the pale young man protected by the men in black was Lin Yi's old acquaintance, Chening Jun. He was young Master Jun when Lin and Ma Zhu died together. His meridians were broken, so Lin didn't chase after Jin Dazhou and Jin Ingjun, who ran back to Donghai City. At that time, Lin wasn't a match for the Jinzhong clan. Later on, the Jinzhong clan was about to be annihilated by Lin and Lin naturally wouldn't care about House Shin of Donghai. However, after a while, Zhang Ingjun seemed to have become even more powerful. There were so many masters around him, all of a sudden. Although they weren't the most powerful masters, they were only in Lin Yi's eyes. The peak of the late phase of Mystic Division was already a very powerful existence in the mortal world. Of course, this wasn't what surprised Lin the most. What surprised Lin the most was that the man in black that he slapped didn't die. He only lost a tooth, but his life wasn't in danger. Although Lin didn't use any martial arts, Lin didn't hold back after knowing that the man was a cultivator and slapped him with the strength of the early phase of heaven class. Yet he didn't die from Lin Yi's slap. He was only a master at the peak of the late phase of Mystic Division, 2 ranks lower than Lin yet he didn't die. Wasn't this person too strange? Could it be that he was from the Jinzhong clan? But the Jinzhong clan was about to be annihilated. Where would they send so many masters? "Did you hurt my junior brother?" The man in black checked the mystic class master, who was injured by Lin on the ground. After confirming that his life wasn't in danger, he stood up and looked at Lin with determination. But he didn't let his guard down. A person who could injure his junior brother was definitely not a simple character. "Who are you? Why did you hurt him?" "Chening Jun, I didn't think we'd meet again." Lin ignored the man in black. Although their defensive abilities were very strong, Lin didn't put them in his eyes. With the strength of their bodies, they simply couldn't withstand Lin Yi's martial skills. Moreover, he didn't even need the powerful Frenzy Fire 8 trigrams palm. Just the 10th form of the Frenzy Fire Fist was enough to take their lives. Of course, in the eyes of other cultivators, this was also a very powerful existence. The 10th form of Frenzy Fist was a skill that only an Earth-class late-phase peak could use. Using an Earth-class late-phase peak martial skill to kill a Mystic late-phase peak master? What a joke. This was also the reason why these men in black were so arrogant. Linny, Shun Ingjuan's breathing quickened, and his pale face turned even paler. He was terrified of what happened just now. He thought that he had the support of a powerful force after returning to East Ocean City and returning to his own territory. He could look down on everything, but when he stood in front of Lin Yi, his legs couldn't help but cramp. Kill him. This kid is a bad guy. He can't be left alive. Zhan Ingjuan's words caused the man in black and the other two men in black to surround Lin Yi at the same time. Kid, I don't care which sect you are from. You will all die today. Master Jun has spoken. You won't be able to live. The first man in black said coldly to Lin Yi. Lin Yi ignored him before. This made him very angry, so after Zhan Ingjun gave the order, he prepared to kill Lin Yi. Clear the area. Clear the area. The Flintlock squad is working here. Those who have no business here can leave. Other than the four men in black, there were a few bodyguards behind Shin Ingjun with bulging waists. It was obvious that they had guns. When they called out the firearm team's name, everyone's expressions changed. They all stood up and looked at Lin Yi pitifully before quickly leaving. Which sect are you from? Golden Bell sect? Lin Yi didn't answer the man in black's question, but asked back. Golden Bell clan. The man in black heard Lin Yi's words and humphed coldly. Golden Bell clan isn't even worthy of helping us. Judging from your level, you're just a hidden sect. Our sect will scare you to death. Scare me to death? Lin Yi froze. Were these people from the ancient sect? That Zhen family was really impressive to actually establish a connection with the ancient era. Let me tell you, we're from Iron Cloak clan. Are you scared now? The man in black reported his clan and looked at Lin Yi mockingly, waiting for Lin Yi to piss his pants. Iron Cloak clan? Lin Yi asked back. I've never heard of it. You black-clothed man number 2 was furious. Lin Yi's words were insulting their existence, making him furious. Kid, you're asking for it. You don't have to be angry. Lin Yi is only at the level of a common noble house. He doesn't even know how many hidden noble houses there are. How would he know how powerful the ancient sect is? Zhen Ingjun calmed down and waved his hand. Don't talk nonsense with them. Just kill him. From his point of view, it was useless no matter how powerful Lin Yi was. Now that he had the support of the ancient sect and the famous Iron Cloak clan, he wasn't afraid of Lin Yi anymore. Shin Ingjun, you still owe me money, right? Where's the 250 million you owe me last time? I'm in need of money recently. Return it to me, and I'll forget about what happened today. It's not easy for your men to cultivate until now. I won't kill them. Lin Yi turned to Shin Ingjun and said, You're a coward. Shin Ingjun sneered. Lin Yi, you don't need to hide the fear in your heart. I know you're scared. That's why you're acting cool. Don't think that I don't know. I know this very well. You must die today. All of you, go. Don't talk nonsense with him. Just kill him. Yes, Master Jun. The men in black from Iron Cloak clan nodded, and Black Cloak one punched at Lin Yi. Lin Yi frowned slightly. To be honest, he didn't want to become enemies with Iron Cloak clan. After all, Lin Yi already had enmity with Dark Palace, Everyday sect, Blood Cloak Underworld sect, and the ancient Dongfang clan. There were only a few ancient sects, and Lin Yi offended 4 of them at once. There was also the Heavenly Elixir sect, whose attitude was unclear. Lin Yi really didn't want to become enemies with Iron Cloak clan. Chapter 3068. What was the relationship between them? One had to know that Jin Ingjun was also very respectful in front of Ma Zhu, but these people from Iron Cloak faction became his hired thugs. How strange. Iron Cloak faction, don't do anything. I don't want to kill you. My only enemy is Jin Ingjun, Lin Yi said to Black Cloak number 1 and the others. However, the more Lin Yi acted like this, the more Iron Cloak faction thought that Lin Yi was scared and was trying to scare them. Therefore, Black Cloak number 1 didn't stop and punched towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi sighed slightly. He had no choice but to attack. However, Lin Yi still held back. Although he revealed the strength of an early phase of Heaven class, he still used the 8th form of Frenzy Fist. He could only heavily injure Black Cloak number 1, but he couldn't kill him. He hoped that he would be merciful and stop Iron Cloak faction from causing trouble. Otherwise, Lin Yi would have to kill them next time. Although Lin Yi wasn't afraid of trouble, it was better to avoid unnecessary trouble. Boom, 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 boom. Lin Yi didn't make a move, but when he did, it was clean and neat. In just an instant, the 4 black-clothed men, including black-clothed number 1, were directly sent flying by Lin Yi. Black Shirt 1 was obviously the strongest among them, having reached the peak of the early phase of Earth class. Although the others had fainted, he didn't faint even though he was injured. He only looked at Lin Yi in shock and spat out 4 words. Sky class, Black Cloak number 1 knew that he kicked an iron plate. Lin Yi was so young and was already in early phase of Heaven class. He couldn't be a nobody, nor could he be cultivated by a small family. There must be a bigger force behind him. He said that he hadn't heard of Iron Cloak faction. Maybe he looked down on them. What? Jin Ingjun wasn't as clueless as before. He knew what it meant to be a Heaven class master. How could Lin Yi be a Heaven stage expert? This was completely unrealistic. Back then, he had to go all out against Ma Zhu, and in the end, both of them were heavily injured. But now, when he made his move, he didn't even see it clearly, and all his bodyguards were already lying on the ground. Even the weakest of them, Black Shirt number 1, who was at the peak of early phase of Earth rank, wasn't a match for him. Jin Ingjun, I told you that I don't want to fight, and I've warned you. If you want your men to die, then there's nothing I can do. Lin Yi tried his best to push the blame onto Jin Ingjun and let Tai Yi's sect get even with him. He walked towards Jin Ingjun step by step. However, Lin Yi was wrong about Iron Cloak sect. They wouldn't do anything to Jin Ingjun, at least not now. Don't come any closer. I'm telling you, although you've defeated them, I'm backed by the entire Ironcloth sect. If you dare to touch me, I'll make you suffer. Jin Ingjun was the one who put up a strong front. He kept backing away. A Heaven stage expert, this was too shocking. Slap. Lin Yi slapped Jin Ingjun's face. His handsome face was once again slapped until his eyes and mouth were crooked. Iron Cloak sect? You also thought that Jinzhong Gate was powerful before, but what about now? Lin Yi stood in front of Jin Ingjun indifferently. You can't kill me. Jin Ingjun was really scared and kept backing away. Lin Yi, how's Jin is powerful now, really powerful? Oh, even if you change your name to Jin Yo, it has nothing to do with me. Slap. Another slap sounded. Lin Yi slapped the other side of Jin Ingjun's face. Let me go. I'll do whatever you want. Jin Ingjun softened. He had no choice but to lower his head in front of Lin Yi. I can let you go. I just want to collect the debt from you. 250 million. When will you give it to me? Lin Yi asked. I've already returned 250 million to you. Can you give me less this time? How about 150 million? Jin Ingjun hesitated and said, What do you think? Slap. Another slap. Lin Yi was getting impatient. Stop wasting time. If you have money, use it to buy your life. If you don't, then die. 150 million is fine. I'll cut off your arms and it'll be 100 million. How about that? Then, okay, I'll transfer the money to you after I go back. Jun rolled his eyes and thought that he should leave first. As long as he went back, Lin wouldn't be able to find him, and he could do whatever he wanted. Go back? Lin naturally knew what Jun was thinking. He sneered. Now, immediately transfer the money. Otherwise, I don't mind turning you into them. Of course, they are cultivators and physical defense cultivators at that. They didn't die under my hands, but that's not necessarily the case for you. You might just die in an instant. But it's not bad. You don't have to pay me back anymore. Okay. Jun took a deep breath and reminded himself that he had to lower his head when he was under someone else's roof. Just you wait and see. Then Jun took out his phone and said to Lin Yi, give me your account number. Lin Yi gave him an account number, and Jun made a few calls to transfer the money to Lin Yi. He didn't dare to play any tricks as he knew how ruthless Lin Yi was. He had to get through this first, and he would have plenty of chances to deal with Lin Yi in the future. Moreover, Zhen Ingjuan's house Shin had the support of Iron Cloth sect, and they were quite rich. Although 250 million wasn't a small amount, Zhen Ingjun could still afford it. Not long after, Lin Yi received a notification on his phone. Lin Yi looked at the amount and nodded in satisfaction. Okay, you can leave now. Okay. Zhen Ingjun gritted his teeth and looked at the bodyguards in white with guns on their waists. He ordered, what are you waiting for? Carry them on your back and come with me. Yes. Although the bodyguards in white had guns and looked powerful in front of outsiders, they were far from a cultivator. Although they didn't fall, they didn't dare to pull out their guns in front of Lin Yi. And Zhen Ingjun didn't think about using them to turn the tables. Chapter 3069. After all, Lin Yi didn't kill the people from Tai sect and Zhen Ingjun, so Zhendajo and Tai sect wouldn't be so desperate. After they went back, they would investigate his background again and decide if they should kill him or not. Of course, if Tai sect didn't want to cause trouble, they wouldn't mind losing 250 million since no one died. He still wasn't strong enough. Lin Yi sighed. If he had absolute strength, these people wouldn't be able to walk out of here today. However, Lin Yi could only let them go for now in order to avoid too much trouble. However, it wasn't for nothing. At least, Lin Yi brought back 250 million. Fatty Lie's medical company had 250 million in addition to the 350 million Feng Shishan gave him, so it shouldn't be a problem to keep it running. However, the money that House Lu mortgaged and Yu Xiaoka's orphanage wasn't enough. Lin Yi could only hope that the genius girl from House Lu could give him a surprise and restore House Lu's agency to its former glory. Zhen Ingjun came and left quickly without a trace. The guests who were chased away returned to the resting room after seeing Zhen Ingjun leave. However, their eyes were filled with respect when they looked at Lin Yi. It was rare to see someone who could defeat Zhen Ingjun's bodyguard and beat Zhen Ingjun up. This little episode made Lin Yi earn 250 million. It seemed like there were benefits to coming to pick him up. A good person would be rewarded. Zhen Ingjun left, and Su Shirhan's plane was about to land. The plane was on time, and when Lin Yi saw the flight number on the LCD screen, he put down the newspaper in his hand. Soon, the sound of footsteps came from the entrance of the lounge. Someone was getting off the plane, and there were also a few people in the lounge who stood up. They were probably here to pick up the passengers who were getting off the plane. Lin Yi looked at his phone. No one had called him yet, but he thought that when the person he was going to pick up got off the plane, they would call him. However, Lin Yi didn't see the main character, but saw a group of familiar faces coming out of the passageway. It was the superstar Su Shirhan, her bodyguard Feng Sanhuang, and her manager Wang Sis. These three people made Lin Yi slightly surprised. Did Su Shirhan come to East Ocean City to perform? But since he saw her, Lin Yi naturally had to greet her. No matter what, Su Shirhan was the company's spokesperson, and she had a good relationship with Miss and the others. Young Han, Arid Triad, why are you here? Lin Yi was not familiar with Big Sis Wang, so he only nodded at her. Lin Yi. Su Shirhan didn't expect to bump into Lin Yi at the airport. She was wearing sunglasses, and this was the VIP exit. People who came out of this place were either rich or powerful. No one would be so nosy as to guess who she was. Plus, Lin Yi called her Young Han. Who would have thought that Su Shirhan was Young Han? Su Shirhan paused and looked at Feng San Huang awkwardly. She didn't know if she should tell Lin Yi about this. Was it a secret? Su Shirhan trusted Lin Yi in her heart. It was just that Feng San Huang didn't say anything, so she couldn't do anything. Feng San Huang was also surprised why Lin Yi was here. Last time Su Shirhan was in trouble, it was Lin Yi who saved her. Feng San Huang trusted Lin Yi a lot. It was just that there were outsiders in the lounge, so Feng San Huang couldn't say anything. Mr. Lin, long time no see. We did come here for some business, but can we talk in private? Talk outside? Sure, but I'm here to pick someone up. I need to call the person and tell him to wait for me outside. Lin Yi said and took out his phone. Perfect, someone is here to pick us up. I'll make a call too. Feng San Huang nodded and picked up his phone. However, Lin Yi realized that the number he dialed was busy. It was the same for Feng San Huang. The user was busy. Helplessly, Lin Yi put down the phone. He guessed that the other party was contacting him as well, so he waited for them to call back. San Huang, on the other hand, had the same thought. He hung up the phone and waited for Lin Yi's reply. The call didn't go through. Let's talk on the way, Lin Yi said to Feng San Huang. Sure. Feng San Huang nodded. He put down his phone and walked towards the door with Lin Yi. After leaving the VIP lounge, they came to the parking lot near the airport. Feng San Huang, Su Shirhan, and Wang Sis got on Lin Yi's car first. After they got in, Feng San Huang said, Mr. Lin, our trip this time is actually a secret. Even the people in the company don't know about it. Miss Su might be in trouble again. Oh, trouble again? The same group as last time? Lin Yi was dazed. This, more or less, but even more powerful. Feng San Huang didn't say much. After all, Feng Tianhu was the one who found them, although last time it was the Feng family, and this time it was the Dongfeng family. There was only one person. If that's the case, then it's a bit dangerous. What's your plan this time? Lin Yi asked. This time, I won't hide it from Mr. Lin. I have a friend here. I'm here to ask for his help to protect Miss Su's safety. Feng San Huang said. This was the excuse he gave to Su Shirhan. All right, I have something else to do during this period of time. If there's nothing else, I'll help you guys out. Lin Yi nodded. Mr. Lin, thank you for your kindness, but the enemy this time is a Sky Class Early Phase Master. I'm afraid you don't have the confidence to deal with him. I don't either. Feng San Huang naturally didn't know that Lin Yi was already a Sky Class Master. His impression was still the last time he met Lin Yi. Lin Yi's strength was still at the last time he met him. Sky Class Early Phase? Lin Yi heard Feng San Huang mention the enemy's strength. He only smiled faintly. Sky Class Early Phase. Lin Yi didn't care anymore. Right, Mr. Lin, we'll talk later. I need to call my friend first. Feng San Huang suddenly remembered that Lin Yi didn't reply to him. He quickly took out his phone and was ready to call back. Okay, Lin Yi nodded. Lin Yi also wanted to call his employer to ask if they had arrived, but because it was quiet in the car, it wasn't good for two people to call at the same time. So Lin Yi decided to wait for Feng San Huang to finish his call. Chapter 3070. Lin Yi didn't think too much about it. He picked up the phone and saw that it was his employer, so Lin Yi couldn't reject the call. Even if Feng San Huang was on the phone, Lin Yi still picked up the phone. Hello, I've arrived at the airport. Have you guys gotten off the plane? After Lin Yi said this, he waited for the other party to respond, but the other party didn't say anything. Feng Sanhuang, on the other hand, had a shocked expression on his face. Because the call was connected, he heard Lin Yi's voice from the other side. However, he was also a little uncertain, so he hesitated for a moment and still said into the microphone, "Hello, is this Mr. Lin Yi?" This time, not only did Feng Sanhuang hear Lin Yi's voice, but Lin Yi also heard Feng Sanhuang's voice from the other side of the phone. Of course, even if Lin Yi didn't hear it, Feng Sanhuang's Mr. Lin Yi already represented a lot of problems. Lin Yi could immediately understand that the person he was waiting for was Feng Sanhuang, and the superstar he wanted to protect was Su Shihan. Both of them were stunned. Lin Yi put down the phone, and Feng Sanhuang also put down the phone. Lin Yi was a bit embarrassed, and Feng Sanhuang was also a bit embarrassed, but he was more worried about Su Shihan's thoughts. He told Su Shihan that he was asking for help from his friend, but in the end, Lin Yi was right in front of him, and he didn't even know that the person he was asking for help was Lin Yi. No matter how stupid Su Shihan was, she should be able to figure out the problem, right? Mr. Feng, it's you? Lin Yi smiled bitterly and reached out his hand. Yes, it's me. Feng Sanhuang also smiled bitterly and said, Mr. Lin Yi, why did you change your name to Lin Yi? I'm just accepting a quest. I didn't think too much about it. It's an acquaintance among acquaintances. Lin Yi smiled wryly and said, back then, the poem told me. He asked me to protect his sister, but I thought his sister does not know me. I had told Mr. Feng that my name is Lin Yi, and Shishir also knows my name. That's why I did not change my name. But I did not expect the person I am protecting is Miss Su. Brother Feng, are you hiding something from me? Shihan looked at Feng Sanhuang. Of course, she didn't think that Feng Sanhuang would harm her. After all, the person Feng Sanhuang found was Lin Yi. Su Shihan knew what kind of person Lin was. There was no way he would help Sanhuang harm people. Lin Yi also said that he was here to protect him, but Lin Yi wasn't Feng Sanhuang's friend at all. And Lin Yi even said that she was someone's sister. What was going on? Wasn't he an orphan? How could he have a brother? So, Su Shihan subconsciously thought that Feng Sanhuang was hiding something from her, and it was not a small matter. Needless to say, Shihan's guess was quite accurate. Because Feng Sanhuang was indeed hiding something, but without Feng Tianlin's permission, he didn't dare to tell Shihan. If Shihan knew the truth, if she knew that she had a father who didn't dare to acknowledge her, wouldn't she be unhappy? But Feng Sanhuang knew. It wasn't that Feng Tianlin didn't want to acknowledge her, but he couldn't. If he didn't acknowledge her now, there was already so much danger. If he really did acknowledge her, he didn't know how Feng Tianhu would make a fuss about it. So, Feng Sanhuang hesitated and looked at Lin Yi. Although the trouble was caused by him, it was Lin Yi who said it. It seemed that Lin Yi was not only close to Shihan, but also the young master Feng Shipian. So, it was better for Lin Yi to say it. At least, Feng Tianlin couldn't blame Feng Sanhuang. Seeing Feng Sanhuang's pleading eyes, Lin Yi paused. What do you mean? Could it be that Shihan didn't know about this? But wasn't this arranged by Feng Shipian? He wouldn't tell his sister. No. Sister? Shihan's surname was Su. Feng Shipian's surname was Feng. Although Feng Tianlin said that his surname was Su, it was just a made-up surname. Maybe he meant to represent Shihan. But there might really be a problem here. It was just that Lin Yi didn't know how much Shihan knew, so he could only test her. Han, I was asked by your father and brother to protect you, but after saying this, Lin Yi regretted it a little, because Lin Yi suddenly remembered that Shihan told him about her childhood. Shihan should be Feng Tianlin's illegitimate daughter, and after Shihan and her mother were attacked, they didn't see Feng Tianlin again. Naturally, Shihan would know about Feng Tianlin and Feng Shipian. But at the beginning, Lin Yi didn't think about this. He thought that Feng Tianlin had been in contact with Shirhan. Now that he thought about it, Shirhan didn't mention that she saw her father after she was separated from her mother. You met my father? I have a brother? Shirhan widened her eyes in shock. She looked at Lin Yi. Her body was shaking. She was obviously very emotional. Her breathing became rapid. But in the next moment, cold sweat appeared on Shirhan's forehead. Her breathing became more rapid. She couldn't help but moan. It hurts. My head hurts. Wang Sis, give me the medicine. Wang Sis was also shocked. What Lin Yi and Feng Sanhuang said in the car today shocked her. Lin Yi knew Shirhan's father? And from the looks of it, Feng Sanhuang also knew about it. Wang Sis, who was usually a chatterbox, didn't dare to interrupt today. She didn't know what to say. But Su Shirhan had a headache. She subconsciously grabbed her backpack and started rummaging through it. Every time Shirhan went out, she would let Wang Sis bring the painkillers from Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. No need. Lin Yi shook his head at Wang Sis. He reached out and pressed on Shirhan's forehead and chest. Shirhan's emotions gradually returned to normal, but she was still panting. She blushed and said gratefully to Lin Yi, "Thank you." Although Lin Yi cured her headache, he also touched her body. But Shirhan knew that Lin Yi did it for her own good. He didn't want to take advantage of her. "No need to thank me. It was me who gave you a headache. I should be the one apologizing." Lin Yi smiled bitterly. "I didn't think that you didn't know about your father and brother. I thought you already knew." Chapter 3071. Then do you hate him? Lin Yi stayed silent for a while and asked, Suddenly hearing that my dad knew about me but didn't want to see me, I did feel a bit uncomfortable, but thinking about it, maybe he has his own difficulties. Su Shirhan smiled at Lin Yi and said, "I'm an illegitimate daughter. He has his own life, and at least, Lin Yi, you were hired by Dad and brother to protect me. At least they care about me. I've never met my brother before, and he treats me like this. What else do I have to hate? On the contrary, I'm very happy today. You let me know some things I've always wanted to know. My dad is fine. That's great." "Okay. Then do you want to see him?" At this point, Lin Yi knew that he couldn't hide it anymore. So he asked. But from Lin Yi's point of view, Su Shirhan was still calm. She was already an adult. She could face everything rationally. "He doesn't want to see me. Of course, he has his difficulties. It doesn't matter if I don't see him or not. Although I really want to see him, I know he's fine, so I'm at ease." Su Shirhan smiled bitterly and said, "To be honest, I don't have much of an impression of him anymore." Lin Yi nodded and looked at Feng Sanhuang. "Feng Sanhuang, you don't have anything else to say? I've said a lot of what needs to be said. You can fill in the rest." "Okay." Feng Sanhuang was helpless. Lin Yi had said so much already. It didn't matter if he said it or not. Even if Feng Tianlin blamed him, Lin Yi would be there. So he told the truth. "Miss Su, I'm a bodyguard sent by your father to protect you. In fact, Master has always cared about you. These years, your path has been smooth sailing. It's also because of Master's help. There are people with bad intentions. I'll help you solve it. I will help you deal with it. If there is pressure from the company, Master will use his connections to settle it. You should be able to feel it too. So that's how it is." Su Shirhan nodded. All these years, Su Shirhan herself felt that her path to stardom was too smooth. She didn't encounter any unspoken rules and rejected some of the company's activities. The company didn't freeze her. Instead, they welcomed her with a smile. So Su Shirhan's fame grew. Of course, it couldn't be denied that Su Shirhan's hard work and talent played a part in it. But without someone helping her in the dark, it wouldn't have been so smooth. After all, Su Shirhan wasn't the only one with hard work and talent, but only Su Shirhan succeeded. This meant that there were some problems. Nowadays, most of the celebrities in the company relied on their bodies or their family's influence to get to where they were. Su Shirhan was very clear about this. Although there were some who achieved success through their own hard work, there weren't many. Su Shirhan was the most successful among them. This could be considered a miracle, but now it seemed that it wasn't. It was inevitable. Then what's my father's name? Shirhan asked. Feng San Huang looked at Lin Yi. He didn't know if he should tell Su Shirhan Feng Tianlin's name or not. His name is Feng Tianlin. His background is the ancient Feng family, an ancient aristocratic family. You should have heard of this name before. Lin Yi said to Su Shirhan, it's a higher level of hidden aristocratic family. Ancient. Shirhan nodded, but she didn't seem to know much about it. So, my surname isn't Su. My surname is Feng. Oh, right. Do you know your mother's name? Perhaps I can help you look for her. Lin Yi asked. Feng Tianlin had been looking for her, but he might not be able to find her. After all, Feng Tianlin didn't dare to look for her openly. Among the Feng family's people, one of them might be Feng Tianhu's trusted aide. If Feng Tianhu found out, then things would be even worse. But Lin Yi was different. Lin Yi could ask Gu Xian to help him look. Gu Xian was someone who knew about the ancient world. Maybe he could find her. I don't know. Shirhan shook her head and sighed. At that time, I was too young. I don't remember my mother's name. Then forget it. I'll ask Uncle Feng myself when I have the chance. Lin Yi nodded. Today's matter is settled. Han, since everyone is so familiar with each other, let's go back to my villa. Yao Yao, and Shu miss you too. And, okay? Shirhan breathed out in relief. It was Lin Yi's villa. There was no problem. Shirhan, Mengyao, and Yushu got along well. Everyone was familiar with each other. It wouldn't be inconvenient for them to live together. On the way, Shirhan was still worried about these things. But in a blink of an eye, it was all gone. Feng San Huang, on the other hand, was worried. He wanted to find a chance to call Feng Tianlin and tell him what happened. What happened was out of Feng San Huang's control. These things were supposed to be kept secret. Now that Shirhan knew about it, it was all because of his mistake. Although this mistake could be said to be a combination of many factors. He didn't know that Lin Yi was Lin Yi, and he just happened to know Lin Yi. In the end, he recognized Lin Yi at the airport and called Lin Yi, which made Shirhan suspicious. At the end of the day, he was also responsible for this. If he had made an agreement with Lin Yi beforehand and told each other their names and clothes, this kind of mistake wouldn't have happened. However, it had already happened, and no one could change it. The car drove towards the direction of the villa. Meng Yao and Yushu were sitting on the sofa, whispering to each other. Yao Yao sis, you must like Shield Bro, don't deny it. Yushu said, how is that possible? I don't like Shield Bro, Meng Yao said. Look, you're talking nonsense. You also call him Shield Bro. Yushu didn't believe it. I didn't. Isn't it because of you? When Meng Yao said this, she asked herself in her heart, did she like Lin Yi? They probably liked each other. But was there any possibility between the two of them? Denial after denial, misunderstandings after misunderstandings. Meng Yao and Lin Yi's relationship was only maintained at the level of friends, not taking it to the next step. Seeing other girls around her becoming Lin Yi's girlfriends one after another, it was impossible for Meng Yao to not have any thoughts. Chapter 3072. If Lin Yi didn't take the initiative to say it, she wouldn't either. Even if Lin Yi accepted her, it'd still be a charity, wouldn't it? With Lin Yi and Meng Yao's relationship, Meng Yao believed that as long as she said it, Lin Yi would accept her out of consideration for her face. But this wasn't what the miss wanted. She wanted a love that didn't need to be spectacular, but she didn't need charity. Why could Tang Yun, Xiao Xiao, Wang Xinyan, and Sun Jingyi? Was it because Tang Yun was pretty, Xiao Xiao was proactive, and Wang Xinyan and Sun Jingyi were helpful to Lin Yi? But she wasn't any worse than Tang Yun. Damn, Lin Yi, would it kill you to chase me? The miss was touched by Yushu's words today, but she suddenly realized that she cared about Lin Yi and hoped that Lin Yi would chase her. As for what she said before about not liking him, it was just a lie. It might have been true in the beginning, but as time went by, Meng Yao couldn't tell if she really didn't like him or if it was just an excuse to numb herself. Could it be because she was too familiar with Lin Yi? There were many times when a man and a woman who were too familiar with each other couldn't become lovers, but she and Lin Yi weren't that familiar either, right? At least she didn't know what he was thinking, and Lin Yi didn't know what she was thinking either. At that thought, Meng Yao glared at Yushu. Big tits, can't you be a little more hardworking? I said I don't like you, and you're not going to help me? Where's your usual smarts? Dropping the ball at a critical moment. Stupid, unlucky Shu. Oh, Yao Yao, why were you glaring at me? I'll stop talking, all right? Yushu shrunk her neck and shut her mouth after seeing Meng Yao's scary look. Meng Yao wanted nothing more than to kick Yushu into outer space. Since when did I forbid you from talking? I mean, say it a little harder. You stupid Shu. You're pissing me off. Yushu looked at Meng Yao's furious face and found it a little strange. Yao Yao, I already said it. Why are you still scowling at me? Then Shu, I won't make this kind of joke anymore, okay? No. Meng Yao finally gathered her courage and roared. The roar scared Yushu so much that she jumped up from the sofa with a whoosh, her hair almost standing on end. But just when Yushu was wondering what that no meant, and why Yao Yao was so angry, the sound of a car came from the villa. Meng Yao roared. He used up all the courage in his body, but he didn't want to explain anything to Yushu anymore. He stood up. Lin Yi is back. Let's go out and take a look. I wonder which celebrity it is. Is it what we like? We just like Sister Shirhan. We don't like anyone else, Yushu said. Then, let's go take a look. He's Lin Yi's guest after all, Meng Yao said as she walked towards the door. Yushu saw Meng Yao leave. She followed behind her and walked out of the villa with her. At this time, Lin Yi's car also drove into the villa. Lin Yi got out of the car first, and at this time, the other doors of the car also opened. Su Shirhan also got out of the car from the front passenger seat. Meng Yao saw Su Shirhan and suddenly froze. Lin Yi, didn't you go to pick someone up? Why did you bring Sister Shirhan back? Yao Yao, the person I want to protect is Su Shirhan. She is Feng Shirshan's sister. I just found out about the specific situation. Let's go in and talk. Lin Yi also smiled bitterly and spread his hands. To be honest, he was shocked at the beginning. Okay, Meng Yao nodded and let out a sigh of relief. She was happy that she would be able to live with the star she liked in the future, but she was also a little disappointed. With Su Shirhan's addition, Lin Yi's attention would be on other girls again. When would he notice her again? When this thought came up, it scared the miss. I actually care about Lin Yi so much. Meng Yao looked at Yushu from the corner of her eyes. She was a little annoyed. Big breasts and no brains. It was right. She dropped the ball at the critical moment. Yushu felt wronged under Meng Yao's angry gaze. She used to try her best to matchmake Meng Yao and Lin Yi, but she was scolded every time. Now that she didn't dare to matchmake them, she was dissatisfied. How could she be so unlucky? The group entered Lin Yi's villa. Although Wang Sis was a strict person, she had a good impression of Lin Yi, especially since Lin Yi's medicine company solved Su Shirhan's problem. Lin Yi was Su Shirhan's savior. She was still very polite to Lin Yi. Mr. Lin, it's not a problem for Miss Su to stay here, but it's not convenient for me to stay here. Wang Sis also visited Lin Yi's villa. She realized that Lin Yi's villa wasn't too big. There weren't that many rooms. There were 2 rooms upstairs, one for Su Shirhan and the other for Meng Yao and Yushu. There were 3 rooms downstairs, one for Lin Yi, one for San Huang, and one for Wu Qintian. There were no empty rooms. Therefore, Sister Wang was also very reasonable and said, "Why don't I move out to live? There's a hotel nearby. It's not bad. It's fine." Chantian walked out of his room at this time. He usually practiced in his room, and although he couldn't practice on his own, after Lin Yi leveled up his practitioner's arts, he was still a dual practitioner. After leveling up his spiritual arts, he needed to improve his physical arts as well, and so he practiced whenever he had nothing to do, and only came out when he had something to do. "Mr. Feng, can we stay in the same room? We're both men. It's fine." "Sure." San Wang didn't have any objections. "You're a practitioner too, right? At night, I will mainly meditate and cultivate. The two of us can also learn from each other and discuss cultivation matters." "Then it's settled." Lin Yi nodded. "Han, you, Yao Yao, and Shu can stay upstairs. Wang Sis and Feng Bro can stay downstairs." After arranging the rooms, Lin Yi told Meng Yao and Yushu about Su Shihan's situation. Meng Yao and Shu sympathized with Su Shihan's childhood. They didn't know that behind a superstar, there were so many unknown tragedies. San Huang, on the other hand, found a place with no one and called Tianlin. Chapter 3073. "Yes, but, Master, there's a small problem here." Feng San Huang smiled bitterly. "Miss Su knows about your situation and identity." "Knows? What's going on?" Feng Tianlin was taken aback. He immediately became nervous and asked in a deep voice, "What's going on? How did Xiao Han know?" "It's like this." Feng San Huang didn't dare to hide it and told Feng Tianlin everything. He didn't dare to push the blame to Lin Yi. He wasn't that kind of person. "Oh." Feng Tianlin heard San Huang's words and was slightly taken aback. He didn't expect things to turn out this way. However, he couldn't blame San Huang for this. If he had to blame someone, he could only blame himself for not telling San Huang that Ling Yi was Lin Yi. However, Feng Tianlin didn't think that much. But when he heard Su Shihan's reaction, he let out a sigh of relief. He was comforted. Feng Tianlin had been hiding the truth from Su Shihan all these years because he didn't dare to tell her. He was afraid that if he told her the truth, she would hate him and ignore him. After all, when Su Shihan's mother was hurt, Feng Tianlin had a big responsibility. He didn't protect Su Shihan and her mother well, causing Su Shihan to be separated from her mother. So, Feng Tianlin could only do things for Su Shihan behind the scenes, but he didn't dare to acknowledge her. This wasn't what Feng San Huang had guessed, but if Feng Tianlin and Su Shihan acknowledged each other, it would make Dongfang Xiaozue unhappy and give Feng Tian the opportunity to take revenge. Because whether it was Dongfang Xiaozue or Feng Tianhu, they already knew about Su Shihan's village. Only Feng Tianlin's heart couldn't get over it. Plus, Feng Tianlin was a cowardly person. With his current position, he couldn't guarantee that Grandpa Feng would agree to Su Shihan's return. If he didn't agree, then Feng Tianlin would be even more embarrassed. So he had been working hard all these years, but his personality determined that he wasn't the material to be the head of a family. He would endure, but he wasn't decisive. It was a far cry from Feng's poem. Feng Shipian knew how to endure patiently and make a decisive decision at a crucial moment. This was also the reason why he recognized Lin Yi as his boss without any hesitation, and even mentioned it during the family meeting. In comparison, Feng Shirshan was a better candidate for the position of patriarch. As for Feng Nitian, he was all brawn and no brains, arrogant and despotic. This kind of person would still have room for growth if he didn't meet a strong enemy. However, if he was crippled because he was showing off, then he wouldn't have any chance. In fact, this was all based on luck. Even though the local tyrant had been crippled, he was still able to act tough. But he was lucky. Moreover, he had realized his mistake and turned back. If Nitian was smart enough, he would repent at home. He didn't want to argue with Feng Shipian anymore. Maybe he could plead with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi could cure him. However, he didn't repent, so he couldn't blame others. Arid Triad. It's good to talk about this. Feng Tianlin didn't hate Su Shirhan. He felt gratified and said, "When this is over, I'll go see Xiaohan myself." "Yes, master." San Huang saw that Feng Tianlin wasn't too angry and breathed a sigh of relief, and so Su Shirhan stayed in Lin Yi's villa. Lin Yi, after receiving 2 large sums of money, gave it to Fatty Lai. Fatty Lai's medical company also received some relief. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily, this idiot Chen Yingjun came to give him money. However, if he wanted Xiaoka's orphanage and House Lu to return to normal, it all depended on Lu Jinghan, the genius girl of House Lu. Lin Yi only saw her once at the meeting of the noble houses. She was wearing a veil at that time, so Lin Yi didn't pay much attention to her. But Han Jingjing praised her so much. It seemed that Lu Jinghan had some capabilities. At least, Han Jingjing, the little genius, wouldn't push a mediocre person. He planned on going to see Lu Jinghan after he was done with the things on hand. In fact, even if the ancient house Dongfang had decided to deal with Su Shirhan, they couldn't do it immediately. After all, there were rules and regulations for the ancient world to act against people from the common world. It wasn't allowed at all. Although the ancient house Dongfang was strong, they didn't dare to go against the rules. They had to find a suitable excuse. Only with an excuse would it be convenient to act. Of course, this excuse couldn't have anything to do with Su Shirhan. Although Su Shirhan was Feng Tianlin's illegitimate daughter, it wasn't made public. House Feng hadn't acknowledged their ancestors yet. If they made a move against Su Shirhan, it would be the same as making a move against people from the common world. This was a provocation against the rules of the ancient world. Unless the House Dongfang sent a few death warriors out, they wouldn't admit it even if they were found out. But that was impossible. If Dongfang Bruo wanted to go himself, then it wouldn't be as simple as not admitting it and hiding their identity. Therefore, the House Dongfang had been looking for an excuse these few days. The person Dongfang Jinxing sent this time was Dongfang Cha, an early-stage heaven-class master from the House Dongfang. She was an experienced master from the House Dongfang, an expert in kidnapping and extortion. The House Dongfang wasn't as clean as it looked on the surface. An ancient family like this, if they didn't get some dirty money, how could they support a family like this? There were so many masters in the House Dongfang, but they didn't have any source of income. The amount of medicine and pills they spent every year was not a small amount. Reporting to young master, I have just received some very bad news. Elder Dongfang Jian is dead. Just when Dongfang Jinxing was looking for an excuse to enter the common world, a disciple of the House Dongfang ran over and said while panting, "What did you say?" Dongfang Jinxing jumped up from his seat in shock. Looking at the disciple, he asked, "Dongfang Jian is dead? Didn't Dongfang Jian go to the Cultivator Trade Association to look for herbs to improve Bu Qiu's meridians? How did he die?" "Young master, this is the news from the Cultivator Trade Association. Elder Dongfang Jian is dead." The disciple said carefully, "What happened? How did Dongfang Jian die? Could it be that he was killed by someone?" Dongfang Jinxing's face became extremely gloomy. "Tell me in detail." Chapter 3074. I'm not too sure about that. According to Vice President Ouyang of the Cultivator Trade Association, Elder Dongfang Jian got into a conflict with someone when he was searching for medicinal ingredients. The other party was even stronger than Elder Dongfang Jian, so he killed Elder Dongfang Jian. The disciple told the story from beginning to end. Who was it? Who was stronger than Dongfang Jian? After all, Dongfang Jian was a peak mid-heaven rank powerhouse. Who could kill him? Was it a group attack? Dongfang Jinxing asked. I'm not sure about that. Vice Chairman Ouyang said that when the association arrived, Elder Dongfang Jian was already dead, but they didn't see who did it. The disciple said, "Didn't see it? Didn't you ask them to investigate? Dongfang Jingxing was in a good mood, but now he was in a bad mood. Dongfang Bruo was going to find Su Shihan, and Dongfang Jingxing was happy about it. He could help Dongfang Xiaocui and make his son happy, so why not? Even when Dongfang Xiaocui called to cancel, Dongfang Jingxing knew that deep in her heart, she still hoped that something would happen to Su Shihan, but because of Feng Tianlin, he couldn't do that. And so Dongfang Jingxing strongly rejected it, and Dongfang Xiaocui and Feng Tianlin couldn't do anything about it. But now, Dongfang Jian was actually dead. This was simply a wake-up call. Although the Dongfang family was powerful, they weren't filled with heaven rankers. Dongfang Jingxing was a peak mid-heaven ranker, while Dongfang Jingxing was only a late heaven ranker. This was the second person from Dongfang Jingxing to die. His other son, Dongfang Buru, was even more talented than Dongfang Jingxing, and Dongfang Jingxing was planning to groom him as the future of Dongfang Jingxing, but who would have thought that he would be killed by Zhang Naipeo in the test? An everyday sect. Dongfang Jingxing didn't dare to retaliate. They were the typical type of people who bullied the weak and feared the strong. This was different from Fiery Mountain. Dongfang Jingxing saw that they weren't as strong as the everyday sect, so they didn't bother them at all. Of course, this was also because Dongfang Buru died in the Sky Elixir Sect's test. If it wasn't the Sky Elixir Sect's test, Dongfang Jingxing would have demanded an explanation. Even if he wasn't a match for him, he should at least give him some compensation, right? Fortunately, Dongfang Jingxing's other son, Dongfang Buwei, was not weak. Although he was a bit of a playboy, he was still talented. Now, he was a peak late phase Earth class master. As long as his meridians were improved, breaking through to Sky class wouldn't be a problem. Stepping into Sky class peak late phase wouldn't be a dream either. Dongfang Jingxing, had two good sons. This was also his pride. Now that Dongfang Jian had died while collecting herbs for Dongfang Bruo, Dongfang Jingxing had to avenge him, no matter what. Otherwise, who would work for the Dongfang family in the future? Thinking of this, Dongfang Jingxing waved his hand and motioned the disciple to leave first. Then he walked quickly to the room of the current head of the Dongfang family, Dongfang Badeo. The Dongfang family had 3 heaven rank peak late phase experts. Both are in retreat to break through the great perfection realm. One of them is the old man of Dongfang Badeo. The other is the son of Dongfang Badeo. Dongfang Jingxing's younger brother, Dongfang Yinxing, and Dongfang Buli, who had died in the Heavenly Elixir Sect's trial. With the existence of 3 heaven rank peak late phase experts, the strength of the Dongfang family can be imagined. It is quite tyrannical, and the old man of Dongfang is also quite overbearing, as his name suggests. Once he breaks through to the great perfection, I am afraid that he will definitely find an everyday sect to ask for an explanation, but now he dare not. Dongfang Jingxing knocked on the door, and the voice of the old man of Dongfang came from inside. "Who is it? What's the matter?" "Father, it's me, Jingxing." Dongfang Jingxing replied. "Oh, Jingxing, come in." Dongfang Badeo nodded. "Father, something happened. Something happened to elder Dongfang Jian." As soon as Dongfang Jingxing entered the door, he said quickly, "What? Something happened to Dongfang Jian? What happened? What happened?" Dongfang Badeo was shocked and asked quickly, "It's like this." Dongfang Jingxing quickly told the old man what the disciple had said before. Cultivator Trading Association? Conflict with others? Dongfang Badeo frowned. "Jingxing, have you called the Cultivator Trading Association personally to ask?" "Not yet. I came to ask Father first to see if you have any instructions." Dongfang Jingxing said, "Well, I'll ask the Cultivator Trading Association personally." Dongfang Badeo also knew that with Dongfang Jingxing's weight, he probably wouldn't be able to ask anything, so he was going to call and ask in person. After all, the Cultivator Trading Association was a very powerful existence. The president, there was already a heaven stage master, and several honorary presidents were even masters of the peak late stage of heaven stage great perfection. How could the Dongfang family dare to act rashly? Yinxing, bring me my phone. Dongfang Badeo said to Dongfang Yinxing on the side. Yes, father. Although Dongfang Yinxing was stronger than Dongfang Jinxing, he did not have a family, nor did he have children, and he was unwilling to take care of the family's trifles. He liked to cultivate every day, so he did not compete with Dongfang Jinxing. Moreover, because he had no children, he was more partial to Dongfang Bujiang and Dongfang Buqiao, like the old man of Dongfang. He wanted to train these two to be the successors of the Dongfang family, but he did not expect one to die. Now he was preparing to train the other. Elder Dongfang Jian was killed while looking for medicinal materials for him. How could Dongfang Badeo tolerate it? Hello, is this President Li? Dongfang Badeo took the phone and dialed the phone of President Li, the president of the Cultivator Trading Association. It's me, the old man of Dongfang Badeo. What's the matter? President Li also had Dongfang Badeo's phone number, so he said politely, "It's like this, President Li, an elder of our Dongfang family died in your Cultivator Trading Association branch. Is there any news on your side?" Dongfang Badeo asked. "This is Vice President Ouyang's responsibility. We reported the situation to your Dongfang clan. I didn't ask too much about the specifics." President Li said, "If your Dongfang clan wants to take revenge, I think it'll be a little difficult." Chapter 3075. The Cultivator Trading Association usually doesn't have an invitation letter. As long as you have enough strength, you can participate. I think you know that Master Dongfang, and we didn't know the identity of the murderer in advance. We didn't even know who the murderer was, and how many people were. We didn't know the identity of Dongfang Jian either. It was only after several days of investigation that we learned his identity and informed your Dongfang family immediately, President Li said, "And now you have no clues at all. How can you talk about revenge?" President Li, I always feel that this matter is a bit strange. It should be impossible to say that Vice President Ouyang knows nothing about it, right? Heaven stage masters fight such a big battle. He doesn't go and see? If he is really afraid of death and hides, this is a bit unreasonable, right? How can such a greedy and cowardly person be the vice president? Dongfang Badeo wanted to find a breakthrough from this Vice President Ouyang. So in the end, he just wanted President Li to relent and let the Dongfang family go directly to Vice President Ouyang for questioning Master Dongfang. To be honest, I also have some doubts in my heart about this matter. Either Vice President Ouyang knows and does not report, or he is incompetent as a vice president, but I can't do anything about it. President Li smiled bitterly and said, "I'm not afraid to tell you, Master Dongfang, although Vice President Ouyang is my subordinate, Vice President Ouyang has an uncle who is the supreme honorary president of our Cultivator Trading Association, and he is the second supreme president. Even I don't dare to do anything to him. It turns out to be like this." Dongfang Badeo nodded. Fortunately, he didn't act rashly. Otherwise, if he went directly to deal with this Vice President Ouyang, it would be like poking the hornet's nest. The second supreme honorary president, that must be a great perfection master with the strength of the peak late stage of heaven stage. So, we can't do anything about it. If Master Dongfang wants to find the murderer, you can secretly investigate it yourself, President Li said. "Okay, thank you, President Li." Dongfang Badeo nodded. It seemed that this matter really had to be investigated by the Dongfang family themselves. But in this way, Dongfang Badeo found a reason to let the masters of his family enter the secular world to investigate the cause of Dongfang Jian's death. Sending a young master heir and a family elder was not a big battle, and others would not doubt anything. As for some minor conflicts with the people of the secular world during the investigation, No one would say anything. After all, these things were inevitable. After hanging up the phone, Dongfang Badeo gave the phone to Dongfang Yinxing, then looked up at Dongfang Jingxing and said, "Jingxing, this time, let Bully and Dongfang Cha openly investigate the cause of Dongfang Jian's death." In secret, they could do whatever they wanted. In this way, it wouldn't be considered as violating the ancient agreement. But first, we must inform the Heavenly Elixir sect and the other big sects of our purpose before we take action, so that no one can use it against us. Yes, Father, I understand. Dongfang Jingxing's eyes lit up, and he understood the meaning of Dongfang Badeo. This way, they could kill two birds with one stone. They could investigate the cause of Dongfang Jian's death. And Dongfang Bro could deal with Su Shihan. All right, you may leave. I'm going to continue cultivating. Dongfang Badeo said, "I have touched the barrier of great perfection. It is estimated that in the recent 6 months, there will be some progress. At that time, our Dongfang family will have a master of great perfection in the late stage of heaven stage, and we can be ranked among the first-class ancient sects." Okay, Father, then you and brother continue to cultivate. If you can all break through, then our Dongfang family will be even more powerful. Dongfang Jingxing said quickly, and Silver Star is still a little bit worse. If he didn't lose and fall, I'm afraid his strength is not inferior to Silver Star. He is the genius of our Dongfang family, and he fell like this. Humph. Wait for this old man to break through to the peak of heaven stage, late stage. Then I will go to the an everyday sect to settle accounts. I must let them give me an explanation. Dongfang Badeo sneered. Yes, now we can only swallow our anger. Dongfang Jingxing nodded. Jingxing, your strength is actually not bad. You practice well, and it should not be a problem to raise your strength to the peak of heaven stage, late stage. You just think too much about the family all day long. Your aptitude is not much worse than Silver Star. Dongfang Badeo said, "Okay, Father, I will work hard." Dongfang Jingxing smiled bitterly. Before, he wanted to be the young master, but after becoming the young master, he realized how much the young master delayed his cultivation. Of course, if Dongfang Silver Star did not take the initiative to give up his position and compete with Dongfang Jingxing, then it is estimated that Dongfang Jingxing would not think so. Things that are too easy to get are not cherished. If it was like the ancient Feng family, I am afraid it would be another kind of situation. After leaving Dongfang Badeo's room, Dongfang Jingxing went to prepare for Dongfang Bruo and Dongfang Cha to enter and leave the secular world, with the attitude that good food is not late. They must be fully prepared, so as not to be criticized by people when they enter and leave the secular world at will. The Dongfang family is not strong enough to ignore others. If Dongfang Badeo and Dongfang Silver Star are successful in promoting to the peak of heaven stage, late stage, then the Dongfang family will not be afraid. Dark Night Palace. The great elder's face was extremely gloomy because this morning she received bad news. Palace Master Yuan when taking the Qi-gathering pill to break through to heaven stage, did not get the inheritance. That is to say, Yuan failed to get the inheritance. It must be known that Yuan who has already lost her virginity, wants to accept the inheritance, and the moment of breaking through to heaven stage is the best time to understand the inheritance. If there is no opportunity to understand the inheritance at this time, then there is basically no hope in the next few years. So the great elder's heart was broken at this moment, and the dream of the Dark Night Palace was also broken. What the great elder is counting on is that she and Yi Wan become the peak of heaven stage, late stage at the same time, and then become the participants of the heaven stage island plan, and then set foot on the heavenly way together. In this way, the strength of the Dark Night Palace will have a qualitative leap. Chapter 3076. Although the metal element inheritor of the Dark Palace, was an indispensable part of the Sky-class island plan. It wasn't irreplaceable. If the Dark Palace really couldn't do it, then that place, the Five-Element sect, would definitely look for other ways to replace it. It was possible to let a cultivator with a better metal attribute physique gain enlightenment for metal. Although the success rate was relatively low, it was said that attribute inheritors could be replaced in this way. Therefore, the Grand Elder really felt a sense of urgency. Yuan heir, tell me, what do you think we should do? The Grand Elder was truly anxious this time. When you married a mortal and gave birth to a little bastard, a part of your Dark Phoenix bloodline was separated. Now, if you don't get the inheritance, our Dark Palace is done for. Done for? Do you understand? I'm sorry. Yuan heir lowered her head. She was already a Sky-class early phase now, but she wasn't happy at all. She knew that she wouldn't be able to get the inheritance in the near future. This was a fatal blow to the Dark Palace. I'm sorry? What's the use of sorry? The Grand Elder gritted her teeth. I've decided I'll kill Pengzhan, that mortal, and Mengyao, that little bastard, to vent my anger. Otherwise, it won't be enough to appease my anger. Don't. Yuan jumped in fright. She didn't expect the Grand Elder to be this ruthless. He was going to attack Mengyao and Pengzhan. She panicked. Grand Elder, you don't remember Mr. Yang? Wow. Yuan heir, you're using that Yang to threaten me? After the Elder heard Yuan's words, it was as if she had stepped on his foot. He flew into a rage and said that Yang Gai has disappeared for more than 10 years. It's not even certain whether he's dead or not. You want to use him to threaten me? I'm telling you, if he was still alive, he would have come out a long time ago. Would he wait until now? Yuan heir, stop dreaming. The Grand Elder roared in exasperation. Of course, this was for Yuan heir, and also for the Grand Elder herself, because she felt guilty. Although that ruthless man had disappeared for more than 10 years, it was undeniable that he was an incomparably terrifying existence in the Grand Elder's heart, not to mention the Grand Supreme Elder. Any ancient sect would be scared out of their wits at the mention of those two people, the Vajra fiend duo. As for the Great Elder, he had actually fought with one of the two, and even compromised. The one with the surname Yang was Yi Wan and Pengzhan's support. If it weren't for him, the Grand Elder wouldn't have let Pengzhan and Mengyao go. It was because he was too afraid that the Grand Elder didn't allow anyone to mention this person. Even if this person had disappeared for more than 10 years, the Grand Elder would still feel guilty when she heard this name, so she was flustered and exasperated. Yuan felt wronged. Was it wrong to pursue love? Is it wrong to not want to marry someone you don't like? However, in the final analysis, even if Mr. Yang left, if Mr. Yang was still there, would the Supreme Elder dare to do this? If Mr. Yang was still here, then the Palace of Darkness would be destroyed because of him. It wouldn't decline, right? All right, I declare that from today onwards, Yuan will no longer be the Palace Master of the Dark Palace. The Grand Elder had already made his decision. I will temporarily take over the position of Palace Lord until the Dark Phoenix Guiding Stone is activated and a new inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline is found. She will be the new Palace Lord. The new Palace Master will lead us to glory. Yuan didn't really care about the position of Palace Master of the Dark Palace. She just wanted to be a normal girl, spending the rest of her life with Pengzhan, taking care of her husband, and raising their children. How happy would that be? But now, she had been forcefully pushed into the position of Palace Master. Every day, aside from training, she would inherit. She was already bored enough, but she couldn't say anything about it. Now, Yuan was free, but what she was most afraid of was that the Grand Elder would do something to Pengzhan and Mengyao. So, she didn't care if she was going to fall out with the Grand Elder. She said quickly, Grand Elder, finding a new inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. And dealing with Pengzhan and Mengyao are two different things. Your priority right now is to find the inheritor. Why are you lowering yourself to these two normal people? Plus, Mengyao's bodyguard, Lin Yi, isn't someone to be trifled with. I heard that he's reached Sky Class early phase now, and can even fight people above his level. You're threatening me again? The Grand Elder glared furiously. Lin Yi, he's just a freelancer trash. Sky Class early phase? Even if he can fight people above his level, what can he do to me? I'll kill him with one slap. I wouldn't have thought of it if you didn't mention it. This Lin Yi. I'm definitely going to get revenge on him. That's right, Lin Yi is arrogant and doesn't respect our palace at all. We should get rid of him as soon as possible. You're wise, Grand Elder. Qibing spoke up. He could tell that Yi Wan-er had lost her power, and all he had to do now was follow the Grand Elder's footsteps and serve the new palace master well. It'd be best if he could become the new palace master's confidant, and that'd be the time for him to shine. You guys, Yi Wan-er fell to the ground, powerless, but she could understand the Grand Elder's anger. From the Grand Elder's point of view, it was Yi Wan-er's fault for being with Pengzhan back then, leading to the palace master's current situation. All right, that's enough. Elderly, take Wan-er to her place to reflect on her wrongdoing. We don't need her in the future. The Grand Elder didn't mind Yi Wan-er meeting with Elderly now. Even if the two of them were to plot, they wouldn't be able to come up with anything. Yi Wan-er had lost her power. She was just a normal disciple of the palace master, not even an elder. She could only order Elderly around, and the others wouldn't listen to her. Elderly couldn't help her anymore. After all, his power was limited. Now, the rest of you, follow me to the Dark Phoenix Palace and activate the Dark Phoenix Guiding Stone to find the next inheritor of the palace master. We'll kill Lin Yi, Pengzhan, and Mengyao along the way. Let's go. Miss, let's go back. Elderly sighed. It seemed like the Grand Elder had made up his mind, not giving Yi Wan-er a chance to speak or explain. They could only wait for the Grand Elder to find the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix and be in a good mood before pleading with her. Chapter 3077. Elderly, tell me, how can we stop the Grand Elder? Wan-er's heart felt like it was being sliced by a knife. She felt that she was a failure as a mother. It was fine if she couldn't raise her daughter, but in the end she couldn't even protect her and was even harming her. Miss, the Great Elder won't do anything to the little miss and the young master for now. After all, her mind isn't on this. The inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline is our palace's priority. The Great Elder is angry right now. Once she finds the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline and is in a good mood, we can go and plead for them. We should be able to make her stop. Elderly comforted, but whether or not the Grand Elder could change her mind, Elderly wasn't too sure, but in order to not hurt Wan-er, he could only say things in a positive direction. That's true. Wan-er breathed out in relief. Elderly, let's go back first. Can you help me find out about Yao Yao's situation? I'll try my best. Elderly sighed. I've already given control of the Dark Shadow Group to Zhao Qibing, the disciple of Black Cloak. If I want to find out about these things, I can only rely on the people I've trained in the Dark Shadow Group, but it's very difficult for these people to act alone without Zhao Qibing's permission. Elderly, I'll have to trouble you then. Wan-er smiled bitterly. She knew that the Grand Elder was guarding against her, and Elderly, so she did her best to take away their power so that they had no right to speak in the palace. The Grand Elder brought a group of elders and disciples of the Dark Palace. They came together to the Dark Phoenix Palace at the peak of the Dark Phoenix mountain range. Here was the ancient Dark Phoenix guiding stone. This guiding stone, in fact, its original purpose was to find the Dark Phoenix, but an ancestor of the palace accidentally discovered that this stone could also be used to find the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. And this discovery was used until now. As the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace, it was easy for her to activate the Dark Phoenix Guidance Stone. She did all the preparations and activated it beneath the Dark Phoenix's guiding stone. It was a huge map of the world, and the coordinates were shockingly accurate. After the Dark Phoenix Stone was activated, a small, ordinary-looking stone suddenly shone with golden light and flew into the sky, reaching a very high altitude. If it wasn't for its blinding light, the people from the Palace of Darkness wouldn't even be able to see its existence. However, the light was simply too dazzling. Even though the Dark Phoenix Guidance Stone had already flown to an altitude of several thousand meters, everyone could still see the golden light radiating from it. This was the power of an ancient divine tool. However, this divine artifact could only be used to find the descendant of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. It couldn't be used as a heaven-ranked divine artifact. Otherwise, it would be extremely powerful. The Grand Elder and everyone else looked up at the Dark Phoenix guiding stone in the sky with bated breath. They knew that the Dark Phoenix guidance stone was searching for an inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. From the sky, it searched for any possessors of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. It was the first time Zhao Qibing had seen something like this, and he clicked his tongue in amazement. This Dark Phoenix guidance stone was really something. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would have thought that he was watching a sci-fi movie. The hidden world knew too little about these divine weapons, and this was also why even old Zhao didn't have a heaven-class weapon. The Hidden House's foundation wasn't strong enough to have something like this. Even in the ancient sects, there weren't many heaven-ranked divine weapons left. Not every heaven-ranked expert could find a divine weapon that was suitable for them to use. This was also the reason why Lin was able to trade a weapon that the Snowy Valley had taken a liking to. Otherwise, the Snowy Valley wouldn't have been willing to take such a loss. The Dark Phoenix guidance stone kept circling in the air, emitting a blinding golden light. Everyone from the Dark Palace was extremely nervous, their hearts racing. The Grand Elder himself, on the other hand, was holding his breath. The contents of the Dark Phoenix guidance stone affected the future of the entire Dark Palace. If the stone couldn't find an inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, then the Dark Palace would be finished. Actually, the Dark Phoenix guidance stone hadn't been circling in the sky for a long time. In fact, it could even be said to be very short. However, this short 10 minutes felt like a year to everyone present. Even Zhao Qibing was a little nervous. After all, if the Dark Palace became strong, then he would be the strong one. If the Dark Palace was finished, then how was he going to take revenge on Lin Yi? And so, Zhao Qibing prayed in his heart, praying that the Dark Phoenix guidance stone would be able to find an inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline smoothly. Slowly, the golden light on the Dark Phoenix guidance stone grew dimmer and dimmer, disappearing as the stone started to descend as well. Either the Dark Phoenix guiding stone had found the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, or the Dark Phoenix guiding stone hadn't found the inheritor. There were only two possibilities. The result would soon be revealed. With a swoosh, the Dark Phoenix guidance stone landed on a spot on the map. But no matter where it landed, as long as it didn't land on the starting point, it meant that it had found the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. Found it, Grand Elder. Found it. Zhao Qibing pointed at the map and yelled. As far as he was concerned, the Dark Palace was about to become strong, and he, Zhao Qibing, was about to follow suit. What's the coordinate? Write it down and look it up on the computer. The Grand Elder was very excited. He didn't think that they would really find it. In this world, other than the inheritors of the Dark Palace, there was someone else with the Dark Phoenix bloodline. One had to know that the Dark Phoenix guidance stone couldn't be wrong. If it said there was, then there was. And now they didn't need to look for the coordinates anymore. Now that they had computers, the Dark Palace was also using this kind of high-tech equipment. As long as they input the coordinates of the Dark Phoenix Guidance Stone into the computer, they would be able to pinpoint a city, although it was only a city's area. As long as they knew the approximate distance, the Grand Elder would be able to sense the existence of the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. All he had to do was follow his intuition. Chapter 3078. He entered the coordinates Zhao Qibing gave him into the computer, but the city's location shocked the Grand Elder. Grand Elder, the coordinates are in the north of East Ocean City. The disciple reported the result to the Grand Elder. Donghai City. Grand Elder, of course, wasn't a stranger to Donghai City. She sent people to cause trouble for Lin Yi in Donghai City, but she didn't expect the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline to be in Donghai City as well. If the Grand Elder had known this, he would have gone to East Ocean City himself. Only those who had cultivated the Dark Night Palace cultivation technique and reached the late stage of the Heaven Realm could sense the aura of the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, but the black-robed elder didn't have this ability. That's right, it's Donghai City. The disciple turned the screen to face Grand Elder. The Grand Elder glanced at it and nodded, knowing that the disciple wouldn't lie to her. Now, she was ready to go to East Ocean City in person. Donghai City? That's great. It's heaven's will. Grand Elder smiled coldly. This way, I don't even have to do anything. I'll just find the inheritor and kill Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Peng Zhan. Grand Elder, you're wise. Zhao Qibing was overjoyed. If the Grand Elder came personally, then Lin Yi would be nothing no matter how strong he was. Grand Elder was a sky-class late-stage peak now. Killing Lin Yi would be a piece of cake. All right, Qibing, don't flatter me. I know you want to kill Lin Yi, but so do I. But this old one is also the same. Grand Elder said, but this time, you don't have to go with us. After all, I'm going out to find the inheritor, and if you go with me, it won't be easy for you to take revenge. Yes, Qibing wanted to see Lin Yi die with his own eyes, but since Grand Elder said no, he couldn't force it, could he? Black-clothed Elder, go talk to the Heavenly Elixir Sect and a few other big ancient sections. The Palace of Darkness has activated the Dark Phoenix Guiding Stone and found a new inheritor of the Dark Phoenix. I'm going to enter the mortal world, the Great Elder said to the Elder in black. Yes, the black-clothed Elder quickly nodded. This time, it's perfectly justifiable for us to go. Let's see if the Heavenly Elixir Sect dares to stop us. After returning the Dark Phoenix Guiding Stone to its original position and sealing the mechanism, the Grand Elder led the crowd away. He was preparing to enter and leave the mortal world. Yi Wan Air and Elderly were the first to know what happened in the Dark Night Palace. Although Yi Wan Air and Elderly had lost their power, they still had some confidence in the Dark Night Palace. They didn't need to hide what happened before, and they needed to spread the news to all the disciples of the Dark Night Palace. So Yi Waner and Elderly also knew. Elderly, what a coincidence. They're both in Donghai. The Great Elder is going to deal with Yao Yao. And Peng Zhan, what should we do? Yi Wana was a little lost. Although she was a Sky-class early phase master, she didn't have any of the dignity of a Sky-class master. She was like a little girl. Young miss, I didn't expect such a coincidence either. Originally, if we were in two different cities, after the Grand Elder found the Dark Phoenix's inheritor, he would focus all his attention on the Dark Phoenix's inheritor and not bother young miss and young master. However, now that we're in the same city and it's on the way, it'll be easy for him to take revenge. This is a little difficult. Elderly was also having a headache. The coincidences had caught him off guard. Then, what should we do? Yi Waner panicked. I'll go beg the Great Elder now and ask her to show mercy. I'm still a Sky-class master. Even if I'm not the Palace Master, I can still be an Elder of the Dark Night Palace. The Great Elder wouldn't want me to have a problem with the Dark Night Palace because of Yao Yao and Pingzhan, right? Oh, that's a good reason. How about this? We'll go see the Great Elder now. Elderly nodded and said, Okay. Yi Waner also nodded and quickly ran with Elderly to the Great Elder's room. At this moment, the black-clothed elder had just gone to notify the Sky Elixir sect and a series of larger ancient sections. This way, the Dark Night Palace would have enough reason to enter the mortal world. Great Elder, Palace Master, Yi Waner and Elderly are here to see you, a disciple carefully reported to the Great Elder. He almost said Palace Master, but after thinking about it carefully, he realized that it wasn't right. Right now, Yi Waner wasn't the Palace Master anymore. Oh, what are they here for? The Supreme Elder frowned. He didn't need to think about it to know that they were here to plead for leniency. But now that the Supreme Elder was in a good mood, he said to the disciple, Okay, then let them come in. Yes, the disciple quickly replied and left the room. After a while, Yi Waner and Elderly walked into the Great Elder's room together. Yi Waner, Elderly, why are you two here? The Great Elder asked. Great Elder, first of all, Elderly and I are here to congratulate the Great Elder for finding the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. This is a joyous occasion for the Dark Night Palace, and as the previous Palace Master, I'm naturally very happy. Yi Waner didn't dare talk about Meng Yao and Pengzhan directly, so she said a few good things first. Yes, this is indeed a good thing. The Grand Elder was also very happy. The Palace of Darkness was almost finished, but now it was back from the dead. There's one more thing that I would like to speak to the Great Elder about. Elderly suddenly spoke up. Speak. The Great Elder waved his hand and said to Elderly, It's like this, Great Elder. Look, Yi Waner used to be the Palace Master, and although she isn't now, she's still an early phase Sky class. We're currently lacking talents, so Yi Waner can become an elder? Elderly said, That's for sure. An early phase Sky class is more than enough to become an elder of the Dark Night Palace. The Great Elder nodded. Chapter 3079. The elder couldn't help but nod. One had to admit that Elderly's words made sense. If she were to kill Pengzhan and Meng Yao, then Yi Waner would be traumatized as well and wouldn't be so eager to serve the Palace of Darkness. The Great Elder was a person who placed benefits above all else. In her heart, face, and dignity were not important. Only the benefits of the sect were the most important. As long as it could bring benefits to the sect, it was a good thing. Those who brought benefits were good people. Otherwise, it was the opposite. No, Grand Elder. Just as the Grand Elder was hesitating and about to agree to Elderly's request, Zhao Qibing jumped out. Oh, ambush, why not? Asked the Supreme Elder. Qibing only wanted to kill Lin Yi. Whether Meng Yao and Pengzhan died or not, it didn't matter to him. The ones he wanted to kill the most were Lin, Yi, and Yushu. But if the Grand Elder were to let Meng Yao and Pengzhan go, he wouldn't kill Lin Yi for him alone. So Qibing jumped out and objected. Grand Elder, think about it. If you make a mistake and don't get punished, wouldn't everyone make a mistake? Qibing asked back if this new inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline had a boyfriend, and she slept with him in private, wouldn't she learn from Yi Waner, and we wouldn't punish her? Without severe punishment, how can we make her listen to us? Qibing, you're right. The Grand Elder nodded. Indeed, nothing could be accomplished without rules. If he let Pengzhan and Meng Yao go, then he'd be in trouble. If the new inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline were to follow suit, wouldn't it be a complete mess? Grand Elder, it's not like that. Yi Waner immediately became anxious. Grand Elder, I agree with Zhao Qibing's opinion. The black-robed elder did not give Yi Waner a chance to speak. He interrupted her and said to the Grand Elder, not only must he be punished, he must be severely punished. At that time, he'd find the inheritor and kill Pengzhan and Meng Yao right in front of the inheritor's face. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. Let her see the consequences of disobedience. And, Elder Blackrobe, you're right. The High Elder nodded. She had already made her decision. She waved her hand at Yuan Heir and said, Yuan Heir, you, an elderly, can go back. I have made up my mind, and the matter has already been decided. There will be no more changes. This Grand Elder, I beg you, please let Yao Yao and the others go. They are innocent. Yuan Heir was anxious. He immediately knelt on the ground. Zhao Qibing, send the guest off. The Grand Elder humphed coldly, unmoved by Yuan Heir's plea. Yuan Heir, elderly, please? You don't want to piss off the Grand Elder, do you? Qibing said. He didn't put Yuan Heir and elderly in his eyes at all. They were just existences that had lost power in the Palace of Darkness. Qibing believed that as long as he held onto the Grand Elder and the new Palace Master's thighs, his position in the Palace of Darkness would be secure. Of course, this was just the Grand Elder's wishful thinking. If he found the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, would she definitely come to the Palace of Darkness to train? What if she didn't come? As far as the Grand Elder was concerned, the Palace of Darkness was very powerful. It was an ancient sect, and people could gain immortality and strength through training. This was something that others would kill for. Wasn't Zhao Qibing the same as well? So, as far as the Grand Elder was concerned, as long as he found the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, she would cry and beg to come back to the Palace of Darkness with him. The question of whether or not she would come didn't even cross his mind. Yuan Heir and elderly had no choice but to go back first. Yuan Heir could only wash her face with tears, while elderly could only sigh. There was nothing he could do. A Lexus LX 570 stopped in front of Shueshang Business Hotel. This was a business hotel located in East Ocean University. A young man and a middle-aged man got out of the car. These two naturally were Dongfang Burua and Dongfang Cha, who had come to Donghai City. Dongfang Cha, are you sure that Su Shihan has come to Donghai City? Dongfang Burua had gone through a long journey, and he had some necessities. Although he was a practitioner, he rarely took a car. This sudden trip made him very uncomfortable. He wanted to find a girl to have some fun with, and the best candidate was Su Shihan. So, as soon as the car stopped, Dongfang Burua couldn't wait anymore. I'm sure, young Master Burua. Su Shihan secretly took a plane to Donghai City and didn't inform the media, but I still found her flight records through a company in the common world, Dongfang Cha said. Dongfang Cha said, plus Feng Tianlin of the ancient Feng family already knows about this. He doesn't want anything to happen to Su Shihan, so he will definitely tell her to hide. So, Su Shihan must be in East Ocean City. Then how do we know where Su Shihan is? Dongfang Burua was getting impatient. Donghai City is so big, where are we going to find her? Don't worry, there will be news soon. I have other sources of information, Dongfang Cha said. Okay, if that's the case, then we'll wait. Dongfang Burua knew that he wouldn't be able to see Su Shihan today, so he said to Dongfang Cha, go find me a few female students, I want to have some fun. I've been cooped up at home for so long, I finally have the chance to come out and have some fun. No problem, young Master Burua. Dongfang Cha nodded, although in his eyes, Dongfang Burua was far from Dongfang Burua. He couldn't help it. Dongfang Burua died. Now that Dongfang Burua was the only heir of the Dongfang family, Dongfang Cha would be able to get on Dongfang Burua's good side. And then get me a room to rest first. Dongfang Burua nodded. As far as he was concerned, getting Su Shihan to bed with a master like Dongfang Cha wasn't a difficult task. Even without Dongfang Cha, Dongfang Burua, who was an Earth-class late-phase peak, could handle it. On the other hand, investigating the cause of Dongfang Jian's death was more difficult. Who knew who Dongfang Jian offended in the Cultivator Trade Association? Now, the association wasn't cooperating, and he had to investigate by himself. How was he supposed to investigate? To be honest, Dongfang Burua came to the common world for Su Shirhan. Dongfang Jian's death was just an excuse. He didn't care about it at all. Chapter 3080. He was a cold-blooded man. To him, Dongfang Jian might have died because of him, but he was still an elder of the Dongfang family. It was his honor to sacrifice for the family. Dongfang Cha went to look for a number for Dongfang Burua. It had to be said that there were a lot of materialistic women working part-time. Dongfang Cha didn't even need to go out. She directly asked the hotel and got a lot of phone numbers. After finding 2 for Dongfang Burua, Dongfang Cha left the hotel and prepared to inquire about Dongfang Jian. Dongfang Burua didn't care about Dongfang Jian's death, but Dongfang Cha was very concerned about Dongfang Jian's death. Dongfang Cha was also an elder of the family, so he naturally had to find out the cause of Dongfang Jian's death. Otherwise, if Dongfang Cha died one day, no one would avenge him. However, Dongfang Cha received an angry phone call from Dongfang Burua as soon as he left the hotel. "Dongfang Cha, are you trying to kill me?" Dongfang Burua yelled. "Young Master Burua, what's wrong?" Dongfang Cha was confused. He didn't know why Dongfang Burua was so angry. He asked carefully, "Why would I do that? What the hell happened?" "What happened? Where the F***CK did you find them?" Dongfang Burua yelled. "At the hotel. The waiter gave me a name card. I found them." Dongfang Cha said carefully. He didn't know how he had offended Dongfang Burua. Was the quality of the women he found too low? That couldn't be. He looked at the photos on the card and picked the 2 prettiest ones. Why wasn't Dongfang Burua satisfied? "Is that so? There are mushrooms down there." Dongfang Burua yelled. "One with mushrooms and one with flowers. Luckily, my eyes are good. Otherwise, I'd be dead if I got AIDS." His Dongfang Cha was shocked. He didn't expect something like this to happen. It seemed like it was a sick lady in disguise. Dongfang Burua was almost killed. "Young Master Burua, I don't know. You know that I asked them to go to their rooms after I found them. I could only see their faces. I couldn't take off their clothes to check." Dongfang Cha said with a bitter smile. "Damn it, I told the 2 of them to scram." Dongfang Burua said, "This young master is very angry right now. Go and catch 2 pure ones for me. I want sex. I think with your eyesight you should be able to tell, right?" "That's true, but young Master Bu, we're here to investigate the cause of Dongfang Jian's death. What if something goes wrong if we arrest someone randomly?" Dongfang Cha was a little hesitant. He didn't want to cause trouble. "Capturing Su Shirhan is also capturing. Can we capture her?" Dongfang Burua snorted coldly. "Dongfang Cha, if my father finds out that you gave me 2 sick girls, humph, think about it yourself." "Not weak, young master. Don't be angry. I'll go find 2 stunning beauties for you right now," Dongfang Cha hurriedly said, "but high-quality ones can't be found in a day." "That's not a problem. I've already hooked up with 2 waiters from the hotel. They're not bad, but you have to find me a beautiful woman in a few days." Dongfang Burua nodded. "That's not a problem." "Okay, no problem." Dongfang Cha breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he had enough time, he could slowly look for them. He didn't have to rush. Dongfang Cha originally wanted to go to the trade association, but he could only change his route and find a nearby school. If he wanted to find stunning beauties, he had to be careful. Dongfang Cha looked at the navigation map on his phone. The nearest university was Donghai Industry University. Dongfang Cha walked in the direction of Donghai Industry University. After entering the campus, Dongfang Cha didn't look left and right like an idiot. Instead, he saw a few silk-haired guys sitting under the basketball hoop and chatting. Brothers chatting? Dongfang Cha quickly walked over and pretended to be chatting. "Uncle, who are you?" These students were obviously still vigilant. They were still on guard when a stranger suddenly came over to talk to them. "Ha! I'm the person in charge of the National School Beauties program on XX website. I'm here to count the school beauties of Donghai Industry University," Dongfeng Cha said calmly. "Why should we believe you?" The guy clearly didn't believe Dongfeng Cha. "Haha, who knows more? I'll pay for the clues." With that, Dongfeng Cha took out a stack of cash from his pocket. There was about 3,000 to 4,000 yuan in it. The guy's eyes lit up. They rushed to say, I know. Okay, then you guys can say it together. Everyone can top it up. This money is yours." Dongfeng Cha said. These guys were also good buddies in the same dormitory, so it didn't matter who gave the money to. Since everyone was spending it together, everyone started talking at once. The three most popular school beauties in our school are Chu Mengyao, Yushu, and Wang Xinyan. These three are the most popular school beauties in our school. One of the guys started talking. After those three is... Another guy was about to add, but Dongfeng Cha cut him off. "No need for that. We're choosing school beauties, not just anyone. The most beautiful ones from each school are enough," Dongfeng Cha said. "Now, tell me, what are these three school beauties? What are their majors? Do they have boyfriends?" Dongfeng Cha remembered Dongfeng Burua's name. She had to find out if they had boyfriends or not. If they did, then so be it. Meng Yao and Yushu are economics majors. I don't think they have boyfriends. I don't know if they're close with any guy, one of the guys said. But those two are goddesses. One's super pretty, and the other has a great body. It's a perfect combination. Wang Xinyan's love life is a bit messy. She has a boyfriend at school, and I think she has a fiancé, but she's still living with her boyfriend, another guy said. Chapter 3081. So, Dongfeng Cha said, when we choose school beauties, we don't just need beauty, but also a good character. This Wang Xinyan doesn't study and only knows how to date. Forget it, let's talk about Meng Yao and Yushu. Do you have any photos of them? Yes, we do. A guy quickly took out his phone and showed Yushu and Meng Yao's pictures to Dongfeng Ti. Here they are. One's the goddess type, and the other has the face of an angel and the body of a devil. Dongfeng Ti's eyes lit up when he saw Yushu and Meng Yao's picture. They were so pretty. Even he was tempted. Dongfeng Ti thought that if he could have some fun with Dongfeng Burua after he was done with them, it'd be a worthwhile trip. He wondered if young Master Dongfeng Burua would let him have some fun with them. Dongfeng Ti's heart itched at the thought, and he became a lot more enthusiastic. He'd been pissed at Dongfeng Burua for asking him to do this. He was here to do business, not to pimp Dongfeng Burua. But now he was more than willing to do it. It'd be great if he could have sex with one of these girls, let alone two. Can you send it to me? Dongfeng Ti asked. Of course. The guy sent it to Dongfeng Ti. Dongfeng Ti, on the other hand, gave the money to the guys after getting the pictures and information of Meng Yao and Yushu and started thinking about what to do next. Meng Yao and Yushu were both from the economics faculty, which meant that they must be having classes in the economics faculty's building. As long as he waited nearby, he'd be able to catch them. With that in mind, Dongfeng Ti went back to the hotel and got his car, but on the way there, he received a call from the young master of the house, Dongfeng Jinxing. Young master, Dongfeng Ti answered the phone. Respectfully, Dongfeng Ti, you've arrived, right? I saw that you've arrived in Donghai, and you're driving to the Slave Trade Association? Dongfeng Jinxing asked. Dongfeng Cha paused. She wasn't going to the Slave Trade Association. She was going to East Ocean Industry University. However, it was impossible to lie to Dongfeng Jinxing. Not to mention that Dongfeng Cha did not dare to lie in front of Dongfeng Jinxing. Even if she lied, Dongfeng Jinxing had to believe her. Not only did the car have the Dongfeng family's GPS, but it also had a recording and video system. How could he dare to speak carelessly? Therefore, Dongfang Jingxing hesitated for a moment and decided to tell the truth. After all, betraying Dongfang Buqiu was better than lying to Dongfang Jingxing. Young master, I'm going to East Ocean Industry University, Dongfang Cha said. East Ocean Industry University? Dongfang Jingxing paused and asked Dongfang Cha, what are you doing there? Young master, it's like this. Dongfang Cha didn't dare to hide anything. She told Dongfang Jingxing about how Dongfang Bruo wanted to have some fun in East Ocean City, but he found 2 sick girls. Now I'm going to catch them for young Master Bruo. Bruo, this little bastard. Dongfang Jingxing frowned, but he couldn't say anything. Dongfang Bruo was spoiled by Dongfang Badeo. This time he went to deal with Su Shirhan, and Dongfang Badeo allowed it. What was the big deal about catching 2? Therefore, although Dongfang Jingxing wasn't happy, he still said, okay, then be careful. Don't let anyone see it, and leave any evidence. Although we are an ancient sect, there are still other ancient sects that restrict us. Don't worry, young master. The purpose of my driving here is to knock them out and put them in the car. When the time comes, no one will know. Who will find out? Dongfang Cha said. Okay, then after you finish these things, try to find time to investigate Dongfang Jin. If you go to the mortal world and don't even go to the Slave Trade Association, then it won't be right. Don't forget the reason why we enter the mortal world. Dongfang Jingxing said, I understand. Young master, I will go tomorrow. Dongfang Cha said. Dongfang Jingxing didn't say anything else and directly hung up the phone. In his opinion, catching 2 students wasn't a big deal. In the ancient sects, the concept of human life was relatively weak. In their eyes, ordinary people were similar to ants. Only masters were important. Dongfang Cha drove the car directly to the economics department and waited for them to arrive. At this moment, it was not far from the end of the school. Time passed by, and finally, Dongfang Cha waited for the end of the class. From the economics department's teaching building, students began to come out in 2s and 3s. As a sky class, Dongfang Cha's spiritual sense was extremely strong. He didn't need to get close to the students to be able to clearly distinguish Meng Yao and Yushu among the students who came out. At this moment, the 2 hadn't come out yet. However, after waiting for 10 minutes, Dongfang Cha found Meng Yao and Yushu. However, Dongfang Cha didn't make a move immediately. Instead, he drove the car behind the 2. There were too many people here, and if Dongfang Cha made a move, the other students would block the car in front of him. Although he wasn't afraid of killing all these students, it would still be troublesome. So, Dongfang Cha waited until Meng Yao and Yushu walked in the direction of the parking lot. Only when there was no one else on the road did he suddenly step on the gas pedal. The car sped up and stopped beside Meng Yao and Yushu. He opened the door and jumped out in front of Meng Yao and Yushu. After school, the other students either went back to their dorms or went to the cafeteria. Almost no one went to the parking lot. Only Meng Yao and Yushu went to the parking lot every day when they went home, so there weren't many people on the road. The place that Dongfang Cha chose to make a move was a blind spot. Even if there were people far away, they wouldn't be able to see it. What are you doing? Meng Yao looked at the person in front of her vigilantly, but Dongfang Cha wasn't an idiot. She didn't waste any time talking to Meng Yao and Yushu. She grabbed the 2 girls by the collar and knocked them on the back of their necks, knocking them out cold. Chapter 3082. The Grand Elder brought the black-clothed elder with her this time. After leaving the Dark Palace, they headed straight for East Ocean City. After dozens of hours of travel, they finally arrived at East Ocean City. The 2 of them found a random hotel to stay in. The Grand Elder didn't stay idle and brought the black-clothed elder out of the hotel. She couldn't wait anymore. The inheritor was the future hope of the Dark Palace. The Grand Elder believed that it was better to be safe than sorry. The earlier she saw the inheritor, the earlier she could be at ease. What if something happened to her later? It had to be said that Yi Wanner's matter had already made the great elder a little nervous. She was afraid that if she was a step late, something would happen that caught her off guard, so she didn't rest at the hotel at all. The good thing was that the grand elder and the black-clothed elder were both cultivators, so they weren't tired at all. This time, the grand elder and the black-clothed elder didn't drive. Instead, they sped through the city on foot. The grand elder had already sensed the aura of the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. She couldn't wait to fly over. Following the aura of the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, the grand elder chased after them. As they got closer and closer, the grand elder became more and more excited. When the grand elder and the black-clothed elder entered the campus of Donghai Industry University, they attracted the attention of all the students in the university because these two people actually wore ancient clothes to school. Were they here to shoot a TV show? However, the great elder didn't care about these people's sidelong glances. She was here to find a successor, and other things didn't matter to her. The great elder lived for the sect, not for her own face. Almost there, almost there. The grand elder was very excited. However, just as the grand elder saw the inheritor of her dreams, she saw a man driving a white SUV knock out the inheritor and another girl, then drag them into the car together. The grand elder immediately flew into a rage, and a wave of anger couldn't help but surge up from his ribs. This is this old woman's inheritor. Who the F***ck are you? How dare you take the inheritor away? What do you want to do? After catching Meng Yao and Yushu, Dongfeng Cha called Dongfeng Brua as she drove. What's wrong, Dongfeng Cha? What's up? Dongfeng Brua had just finished pleasuring the two waitresses and was resting when he received a call from Dongfeng Cha. Young Master Bu, I've caught 2 campus bells according to your instructions. They are the 2 most beautiful campus bells in East Ocean Industry University. I'll bring them back for you to enjoy. Since Dongfeng Jinxing had acquiesced, he naturally dared to make a phone call in the car. Otherwise, if the recording and video in the car were to be sent back, he would be in serious trouble. But now it didn't matter. Oh, already done? That's great. I'm done here. You can bring them back. I'll have dinner and enjoy myself again. Dongfeng Buick said happily after hearing Dongfeng Cha's words. Okay, young Master Buick. Dongfeng Cha couldn't help but continue. Young Master Buick, when you're done, can you let me have a good time as well? Sure, no problem. Dongfeng Buick readily agreed. If you want your subordinates to do things for you, you can't just give them some benefits, right? This time, Dongfeng Cha had tasted the sweetness. Next time, he would be more proactive in helping him find beautiful women. Okay, I'll go back right now. Ha! Just as Dongfeng Cha hung up the phone, he stepped on the brakes. He suddenly realized that there was an old woman standing in front of his car. Old woman, are you King courting death? Why are you standing in front of the car? Get out of here. Dongfeng Cha scolded angrily. If it weren't for the fact that he was a heaven stage master and had quick reflexes, he would have been killed. Although Dongfeng Cha was not afraid of killing people, it would be troublesome if she did. After all, there was a man in black who was not standing in front of the car. The 2 campus bells in the car might be discovered, and his plan would be ruined. Therefore, Dongfeng Cha was very angry. Dongfeng Cha was angry, and the Grand Elder was even more angry. He was so angry that he laughed. What did you say? You said, I'm an old woman? You old thing, don't think that you're a star just because you're wearing a costume. Stop wasting time and get out of here, or I'll kill you. When Dongfeng Cha saw the Supreme Elder and the black-clothed elder's attire, she didn't think too much of it. She thought they were actors from some drama troupe or TV series. After all, ancient families were different from ancient sections. Most ancient families had accepted modern clothing, but ancient sects still retained their traditions. Moreover, Dongfeng Cha didn't expect the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace, who was also from the ancient world, to appear here. This was unrealistic. Originally, when the Grand Elder heard Dongfeng Cha's call in the car, he was already furious. You want to have fun? How could the Grand Elder not understand Dongfeng Cha's intentions? He wanted to push down the two girls in the car, but one of them was the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline chosen by the Dark Palace. If he lost his virginity, wouldn't the Grand Elder go crazy? This had almost pushed the Palace of Darkness into the abyss. How could the Great Elder not be angry? Therefore, the Supreme Elder's killing intent had already been aroused in her heart. She nodded and said, "Very good, very good. Not only did you dare to kidnap someone that I value, you even dared to call me an old woman and an old thing. Today, I'll kill you first." Dongfeng Cha frowned. He didn't want to argue with the Grand Elder, but this old woman was blocking his way. What could he do? Since he couldn't kill her, he could only get out of the car, throw them aside, and quickly drive away. "Old thing, you're asking for it." As she spoke, Dongfeng Cha reached out to grab the Great Supreme Elder. She was about to grab her and throw her out. But when Dongfeng Cha grabbed the Grand Elder's arm, she felt her whole body shake. How could she miss? Was she a master? When the Supreme Elder was caught, although he was annoyed, he naturally used his internal cultivation method to resist. Chapter 3083. Bang! Dongfeng Cha was sent flying backward. A peak late-stage heaven-ranked master was not someone a low-stage heaven-ranked master like him could fight against. However, as she was flying backward, Dongfeng Cha hurriedly activated her mental cultivation method and used her vital qi to protect her body. Only then did she not die from the blow. When Dongfeng Cha showed his early-stage heaven-ranked strength, the Grand Elder was also stunned. This person was also a heaven-ranked master, and an early-stage heaven-ranked one at that. This person wasn't Lin Yi. Was he? Could it be that Lin Yi kidnapped the two girls in the car and was planning to do something bad to them? According to the phone call, it seemed that they were sold to someone, and that person ate the meat while Lin Yi drank the soup. The Grand Elder couldn't be blamed for the misunderstanding. After all, there were very few cultivators in the mortal world. They couldn't even see a mystic class master, let alone a heaven class master. Even golden class masters were extremely rare. Therefore, the Grand Elder naturally thought that the person in front of him was Lin Yi when there was a cultivator who had the same level of strength as Lin Yi in East Ocean City. Die. The Grand Elder had already wanted to kill this person. Now that he thought that this person was Lin Yi, the Grand Elder was even more determined to kill him. The Grand Elder directly took out her heaven-grade godly weapon and threw out a piece of red ridge that was shining with golden light. "Don't kill me. I'm Dongfeng." Dongfeng Cha was really scared. His opponent was a peak late-stage heaven-ranked master, and he was no match for him. Therefore, Dongfeng Cha began to show his background. He believed that as long as he showed his background, his opponent would let him go since they were both people from the ancient times. At most, the Dongfeng family would sacrifice some benefits to make amends. However, before he could finish his sentence, the Grand Supreme Elder's red caltrop smashed into Dongfeng Cha's chest with a loud bang. Dongfeng Cha's chest caved in, and he died with his eyes wide open before he could finish his sentence. Dongfeng? What Dongfeng? After killing Dongfeng Cha, the highest elder realized that something was wrong. Things did not seem to be what she had imagined. This person did not seem to be Lin Yi. "Hey, Yi, is this person Lin Yi?" The Grand Elder frowned and turned to ask, "Hey, Yi." "No, it's not Lin Yi." The black-clothed elder shook his head. "Check his body and see if there's any keepsake on him." The Supreme Elder also felt that something was wrong. Dongfang, could it be someone from the ancient Dongfang family? The black-clothed elder nodded and quickly searched Dongfang Cha's body. However, he did not find any useful clues. So, he got into Dongfang Cha's car and began to search it. Not long after, the black-clothed elder got out of the car and handed over a tapping device, a surveillance camera, a GPS system, and a mobile phone to the Supreme Elder. Then he said, "Supreme Elder, these are all the suspicious items in the car." The tapping device and the surveillance camera were all transmitted through the 3G network. This caused the highest elder's expression to change slightly. It seemed that the scene of him killing Dongfang Cha had already been transmitted. Thinking of this, the highest elder angrily crushed the tapping device and the surveillance camera. As for the GPS system, it was no longer important. Whether it was destroyed or not, Dongfang Cha's family would already know his location. After opening Dongfang Cha's mobile phone, the elder immediately saw the contact names of the Dongfang family's old master, Dongfang Young Master, and Young Master Bu. She immediately knew that her guess was correct. This person was indeed from the ancient Dongfang family. Throw this person's body into the trunk of the car. Don't let anyone find it. The highest elder instructed the black-clothed elder. Although no one had passed by for the time being, she was not sure if anyone would pass by later. Yes, the black-clothed elder nodded and quickly lifted Dongfang Cha's body from the ground and threw it into the trunk of the off-road vehicle. After watching the black-clothed elder do all this, the highest elder said, "It seems that this person is from the Dongfang family. The scene of me killing him should have been transmitted back to his family. However, this matter is not our fault." Black-clothed immediately sent a message to the Palace of Darkness. "Tell them that the Dongfang family kidnapped the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline of the Palace of Darkness with ill intentions. That's why I killed him." "Yes, Supreme Elder." The black-clothed elder nodded. He also knew that killing someone from the Dongfang family was not a small matter. After all, the Dongfang family was more powerful than the Palace of Darkness. However, if the Palace of Darkness had a reason for doing this, then it would be a different story. The inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline of the Palace of Darkness was a huge matter to the entire ancient world. If the Dongfang family kidnapped her, then it would not only affect the interests of the Palace of Darkness, but also the interests of the entire ancient world and the Five Elements sect. As long as the news got out, the highest elder believed that no matter how powerful the Dongfang family was, they could only swallow their anger. After all, they could not go against the entire ancient world. After receiving the order, the black-clothed elder went to contact the Palace of Darkness. He also knew the seriousness of the matter. Although the highest elder killed Dongfang Cha because she wanted to harm the inheritor of the Palace of Darkness, no one knew about it. So the Palace of Darkness had to spread the news first. Once the other ancient sects knew about it, then the Palace of Darkness would be fine. After all, the matter of the Palace of Darkness finding an inheritor was something that would benefit the entire ancient world. Among the ancient sects, which one of the peak late phase heaven-class masters didn't want to ascend to the heavenly Tao, your Dongfang clan is powerful and powerful, but you can't just take the heir of the Dark Palace and F***ck her. If you really F***ket her, forget about killing you, I'll even wipe out your entire Dongfang clan. So, as long as the news got out, no one would say anything wrong about the Palace of Darkness. They would all say that Dongfang Cha brought this upon herself. This was also what the highest elder wanted to achieve. All right, highest elder, I think it won't be long before the entire ancient world finds out that the inheritor of the Palace of Darkness was almost raped by Dongfang Cha of the Dongfang family. In order to protect the inheritor, the highest elder killed Dongfang Cha. The black-clothed elder did not distort the truth, because there was a video and audio transmission system in the car. Although it was destroyed by the highest elder, the audio and video could still be transmitted to the Dongfang family. Chapter 3084. And, well done, the great elder nodded and walked quickly to the white off-road vehicle. She wanted to see how the inheritor she had been yearning for day and night was doing. However, before the great elder could reach the off-road vehicle, she saw a travel-worn person running towards her. The grand elder didn't know who this person was, but the black-clothed elder's face changed when he saw this person. It was Lin Yi. Yushu's phone had an alarm software installed. Once she was in danger, she would use the shortcut key to activate the software, and the software would automatically send a warning signal, sending the phone's current location along with the warning signal to the designated phone number. This was also a measure Yushu had researched for safety. So when Lin Yi received the news, he went straight to the school without even driving. It wasn't far anyways, and Lin Yi would be faster if he ran over. Seeing Lin Yi flying over, the grand elder was confused. Why did another come after killing one? This person in front of him obviously didn't come with good intentions. The grand elder could even feel that this person's target was the car in front of him. Who's there? The grand elder yelled and revealed his sky-class late phase peak strength. With the impulse from before, the grand elder didn't dare to kill people casually anymore. It would be troublesome if he killed too many people. Plus, this person didn't kidnap Meng Yao, and Yushu, he just rushed over. The grand elder revealed his strength so that he could retreat. The grand elder's strength made Lin Yi's face change slightly. He didn't expect the grand elder to be a sky-class late phase peak master. Looking at the grand elder's side, it was the black-clothed elder. Lin Yi knew this person. He was from the Dark Palace, Zhao Qibing's master. This discovery made Lin Yi go on high alert. A sky-class late phase peak master actually came to the common world. What were they trying to do? They were actually targeting Meng Yao and Yushu? Because Lin Yi didn't see Dongfang Cha, he subconsciously thought that the two elders were here for Meng Yao and Yushu. So, even if they are strong, Lin Yi has to face them. What did you do to Yao Yao and Shu? Since when did the Palace of Darkness become so shameless, capturing people from the common world? Yao Yao? Xiao Shu? Grand Elder was stunned. What, Yao Yao and Xiao Shu? Who captured Yao Yao and Xiao Shu? You know me? You know the Palace of Darkness? Grand Elder. This person is Lin Yi. The Elder in Black said quickly. As for Yao Yao and Shu, could it be Meng Yao and Yushu? The two in the car were Meng Yao and Yushu? How was this possible? One of them was the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline? Lin Yi. The Grand Elder frowned, not expecting to meet Lin Yi here. She'd worn out iron shoes in fruitless searching, only to find him by chance. She was just about to kill Lin Yi when Lin Yi came to her on his own, saving her a lot of effort. But something wasn't right. The Grand Elder suddenly remembered that Lin Yi was here. For the two girls in a car? Could it be that Lin Yi knew them? Yao Yao? Shu? Could it be Yao Yao was Meng Yao? The Grand Elder guessed what the Elder in Black guessed as well. She wasn't stupid either. Who else would be close to Lin Yi other than Yao Yao? And so, the Grand Elder wanted to kill Lin Yi, but decided against it after some thought. If Yao Yao really was Meng Yao, wouldn't she be the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline she was looking for? It wouldn't be good for her to kill Lin Yi then, since Meng Yao and Lin Yi had a special relationship. If she killed Lin Yi now, would Meng Yao retaliate? But even so, the Grand Elder didn't think much of Lin Yi. After all, Yi Wan-er's cowardly personality made the Grand Elder feel that even inheritors had to listen to her. If she wanted to kill Lin Yi, Meng Yao wouldn't dare say a word. But the Grand Elder was a little puzzled. How did Meng Yao become the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline? When Meng Yao was born, the Grand Elder had checked. The Dark Phoenix bloodline in Meng Yao's body was pitiful, and it was impossible for her to accept the inheritance. It wasn't pure either, but what she felt now was an extremely pure dark phoenix bloodline, even purer than Yuan-ers. An inheritor of this bloodline would be able to accept the inheritance once they returned to the Palace of Darkness. As a result, the Grand Elder wasn't sure if it was Meng Yao. Could it be the girl beside Meng Yao? After all, the Grand Elder saw Dongfang Cha knock the two girls out and put them in the car, but she couldn't see who was in the car because she was too far away. She didn't want to waste time with Lin Yi anymore. She waved her hand. It wasn't me who attacked them. I saved them. If you don't believe me, look at the trunk. Oh, Lin Yi paused for a moment. But then he smelled the scent of blood and saw a pool of blood not far from him. But Lin Yi was even more puzzled. Didn't the Palace of Darkness have a grudge against him? Why did they help Meng Yao and Yushu? Could it be that they didn't know and were just helping out? But as far as Lin Yi knew, the people of the Dark Palace were all arrogant bullies. How could they be chivalrous? If Lin Yi hadn't seen the corpse in the trunk, he wouldn't have believed the Grand Elder's words. But the person in the car had clearly died not too long ago. As a doctor, Lin Yi could easily tell that this wasn't some random corpse that the Grand Elder had pulled out and made up. Who is this? Lin Yi pointed at the corpse in the trunk. Ancient Dongfang clan, Dongfang Cha. You don't need to ask about this. It won't do you any good. The Great Elder said proudly, as if it was a glorious thing to kill an elder of the ancient era. Someone from the Dongfang clan? Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. This Dongfang clan couldn't be that unlucky, could they? One died in the Heavenly Elixir Sect's trial. One was killed by him in the Cultivator Trade Association. And now another was killed by the Grand Elder of the Palace of Darkness. How unlucky. Chapter 3085. Why would people from the ancient Dongfang House appear in Donghai Industry University's campus? Could it be that the Dongfang House knew that he was the one who killed Dongfang Jian, and so they sent another elder to capture Meng Yao and Yushu to avenge Dongfang Jian's death? But as logical as it seemed, it didn't make any sense at all. Even if it was the Dongfang House, why didn't they just come after him? Wasn't it pointless to go after Meng Yao and Yushu? Nothing. I think they're going to give them to someone. The Great Elder snorted and said, if I hadn't seen it, I reckon that both of them would have lost their virginity. Oh, Lin Yi paused. If that was the case, then the Dongfang House probably wasn't after him. What happened today was probably random. The person in the car is Meng Yao. The Grand Elder asked coldly, having guessed what Lin Yi was up to. What do you want? Lin Yi didn't answer the question. The Grand Elder looked at Lin Yi before opening the car door to see Meng Yao and Yushu in the back seat. The Grand Elder recognized the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix's bloodline right away and quickly carried Meng Yao out of the car before turning to Lin Yi. I'll be taking this person with me. I'm bringing her back to the Palace of Darkness for training. You're taking her away. Lin Yi frowned. What right do you have to take her away? She's the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline of the Dark Palace, the one I've been looking for. Naturally, I'm taking her away so that she can accept the inheritance and become a master. The Grand Elder turned to Lin Yi. Is she Meng Yao or Yushu? Grand Elder, she's Meng Yao. Lin Yi didn't say anything, but the black-clothed elder spoke up first, his face full of shock. Thank goodness he didn't hurt Meng Yao the last time he came looking for trouble with Lin Yi. She was the inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. After all, even if he had 10 heads, it wouldn't be enough for the Grand Elder to chop them off. Thinking of this, he broke out in a cold sweat. Meng Yao? Sure enough. The Grand Elder was also very surprised, but he didn't show it on the surface. But a storm was set off in his heart. Luckily, he came here personally and didn't let Zhao Qibing bring his men to kill Meng Yao. If he did, she'd regret it forever. Supreme Elder? You're the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace? Lin Yi looked at the Sky Class Late Phase Peak Master in front of him, his mind racing. It seemed like she was here on behalf of the Dark Palace to find an inheritor, but when she saw him, she wanted to teach him a lesson or kill him, but stopped when she heard Minyow's name. That's right, Lin Yi, young one, since I found an inheritor, and the inheritor is Mengyao. I'll let you go this time, but if I see you again, I won't go easy on you. The Grand Elder had already killed a Sky Class Early Phase Master today, and didn't want to kill anyone else, so she let Lin Yi go for now. Lin Yi paused, looking at the Grand Elder strangely. This Grand Elder didn't seem to see the situation clearly. Did she? Normally, ancient sects would ask for inheritors to train with them, but she wanted to take Mengyao to the Dark Palace and kill him at the same time. Even someone as strong as Bingtang didn't dare to say that she wanted to kill Lin Yi. Did this Grand Elder not see the reality? With that thought, Lin Yi couldn't help but ask, I say, Grand Elder, are you so sure that Mengyao will go with you? She won't go with me? Why won't she go with me? I can make her a supreme master, the dream of so many people wanting to be a disciple of our Dark Palace. And she'll be the master of our Dark Palace. The Grand Elder said matter-of-factly. Besides, look at Zhao Qibing. He's so happy and excited after joining our Dark Palace. Ahem. Lin Yi was speechless. This Grand Elder was too narcissistic. Wasn't she? Did she think that everyone wanted to join the Dark Palace? Lin Yi curled his lips and snorted. Why don't you wake her up and ask her if she's willing to go with you? Of course. That's for sure. The Grand Elder said confidently as she massaged the acupoints on Menyao's neck and turned to Lin Yi. I'll let you see if she's willing to go with me now. Mengyao slowly woke up, but when she woke up, she didn't expect to be in the arms of an old woman. She subconsciously took 2 steps back and looked at the old woman in fear. Who are you? I'm the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace. Mengyao, I have great news for you. You've been chosen as the inheritor of our Dark Palace, and after you join us, you'll be the master of our Dark Palace. The Grand Elder said, How is it? Happy, right? Excited? Dark Palace. Mengyao was on high alert. One had to know that this was Lin Yi's sect, and the people in the Dark Palace didn't seem to be kind, wanting to kill Lin Yi for no reason. So, Mengyao was very against it. You stay away from me. I won't join the Dark Palace, and I don't want to be the master of the Dark Palace, and I don't want to be the inheritor. From Menyao's point of view, the master of the Dark Palace, inheritor, as long as it was a part of the Dark Palace, it wasn't realistic. There must be some kind of conspiracy behind all this. Wow, the Grand Elder's eyes widened, not expecting Mengyao to reject her. As far as she was concerned, there was no reason for that. Everyone was crying and begging to join the Dark Palace, an ancient sect. Plus, Mengyao would be the palace master as soon as she joined. How glorious was that? But Mengyao rejected it? How was that possible? The Grand Elder's face was very ugly. Mengyao, you need to think this through. Don't you want to be a master? That's a master of the world. If you accept the inheritance, it won't be a dream for you to have strength like mine. It seems like you know about practitioners, but do you know that I'm a Sky Class Late Phase Peak? Chapter 3086. So, no matter how good the conditions of the Dark Palace were, Mengyao wouldn't join them so easily. Ah, Lin Yi, you're here. Mengyao noticed Lin Yi and said happily, Lin Yi, these people are from the Dark Palace. Although they didn't capture me, and shoo, they're not good people either. Let's go. Ignore them. Mengyao, on the other hand, understood what the Grand Elder was saying. The inheritor would have the strength of a Sky Class Late Phase Peak. To be honest, Mengyao was tempted, but the Dark Palace was Lin Yi's enemy. Without Lin Yi's approval, Mengyao would never join them. Mengyao was gaining strength for Lin Yi's sake. She didn't want the gap between her and Lin Yi to be too big. She didn't want to bring trouble to Lin Yi when Lin Yi went out. So, How could Meng Yao make Lin Yi unhappy just because she gained strength? So Meng Yao purposely said that after one look, from her point of view, the Grand Elder had a favor to ask of her, so she wouldn't make a move. You dare reject me? The Grand Elder looked at Meng Yao in disbelief, as if he'd heard the funniest joke in the world. Impossible. Did he hear it wrong? Lin Yi, Yushu's still in the car. Let's go back. Meng Yao ignored the Grand Elder and said, The Grand Elder was furious. She looked at Meng Yao and said darkly, if you dare leave, fine. I'll kill Lin Yi. If you kill Lin Yi, I'll never go with you to the Dark Palace. Even if you capture me, I don't know the arts. I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life. Meng Yao knew how to threaten as well. It wasn't that she didn't want to go to the Palace of Darkness at all, but if she wanted to go, she needed to have enough bargaining chips. The Grand Elder didn't expect Meng Yao to say that. Yi Wan-er's submissive attitude made her think that the heir of the Dark Palace would listen to her and do whatever she said, but Meng Yao had completely overturned her impression of her. The Grand Elder wanted to call Meng Yao a little bitch, but she swallowed her words back. She didn't dare offend Meng Yao now. Looking at the determined look on Meng Yao's face, it seemed like she would really do it. If what Meng Yao said was true, then the Grand Elder wouldn't dare curse at them anymore. What about me? You're the one begging me. Do you understand the situation? The Miss looked at the Great Elder and said coldly, who cares about your Dark Night Palace? What kind of attitude was that? Lin Yi, let's go. Ignore this old lady. All right. Lin Yi nodded and carried Shu out of the car, only to realize that Shu had woken up on her own. This girl didn't make a sound in the car, so she was eavesdropping. Shu, you woke up and didn't get out of the car. You made us worry. Oh, Shield Bro. Shu thinks that this old lady is too annoying. She's asking for help, and yet she's acting so arrogant. Is she stupid? Yushu looked at the Grand Elder and said with disdain, what did you call me? Old lady. Old lady? The Grand Elder's chest heaved up and down as she breathed heavily. She was clearly pissed. After all, the Grand Elder had never been bullied like this before. As far as she was concerned, Yi Wan-er should be obedient. But when it came to Meng Yao, why wasn't she obedient? Not only was she not obedient, she even dared to talk back and threaten her. The Grand Elder was called an old lady twice today. The first time, she killed the person who called her an old lady. The second time, she didn't dare do it again. Meng Yao's words were very clear. She didn't care about the Dark Palace in the first place. If you want to use force, then fine. Even if you bring her back, she won't listen to you. Let's see what you can do. But Meng Yao and Yushu didn't care at all as they turned to leave with Lin Yi. The Supreme Elder finally became anxious and shouted, Wait a minute. Is there anything else? Lin Yi found it funny. This Grand Elder really thought too highly of himself. Now look at him. Wasn't he? She'd offended Meng Yao, and the Miss was very vengeful. Meng Yao, how can you join our Dark Palace? The Grand Elder felt a deep sense of defeat. Fortunately, she was shameless. Face and the like were all floating clouds to her. Since the hard way didn't work, she'd use the soft way. As long as it was beneficial to the Dark Palace, she'd lower herself to do it. I'll think about it, but I don't want to go now, Meng Yao said without turning back. Dark Palace? Meng Yao wanted to gain strength, but she wouldn't do anything rash. The Grand Elder's words today had too much of an impact on her. She needed to go back and digest it. Okay. The Grand Elder wasn't willing, but he still nodded in agreement. He had no choice. Meng Yao and Yi Wan-er were completely different. Yi Wan-er was submissive while Meng Yao was resistant. The Grand Elder had to change his view of things. Elder Black, what do you think we should do now? The Grand Elder's face was extremely ugly as she watched Meng Yao, Yushu, and Lin Yi leave. According to her usual personality, she would have taken Meng Yao away, but now she was afraid that it would be useless. Meng Yao's tone was very resolute, and it was clear that she couldn't do anything about it if she didn't want to. Although the Grand Elder could torture Meng Yao, she didn't dare gamble. What if Meng Yao couldn't handle the torture and died? Wouldn't the Dark Palace be done for then? One had to know that Meng Yao was the Dark Palace's last hope. If something were to happen to her, then the Dark Palace's name would be erased from the ancient world. This Meng Yao doesn't budge. She's completely different from Yi Weiner. The black-clothed elder frowned as well. You're marked by the company you keep. You're just like Lin. I'm not talking about that. I'm asking you what to do. The Grand Elder humphed coldly. I know you're talking nonsense, but I want to know how Meng Yao can come back with us. That you're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.